year is complimentary. All you need is your VIN number on hand. Drive awareness, drive hope, and customize your plate today at atease.org.
The National Federation of Republican Women has elected their fourth vice president, who comes from Baldwin County. Judy Barlow will serve as chairperson of the Legislative and Research Committee. Barlow says she plans to work hard for the upcoming midterm elections to promote the values that matter most to families, such as faith, freedom, opportunity, and security. I'm Andrea Tice.
For more news affecting Alabamians, go to 1819news.com. And while you're there, subscribe to the daily newsletter.
Here at Adams Drugs, we let our customers do the talking. I'm here with Ronnie Taunton, who was a longtime customer of Adams Drugs, moved away for 3 years, and came back to town recently. Ronnie, what did you do for another pharmacy when you moved out of town?
When we moved to Fairhope, we were looking for a local. We did not want to go to a big box store. And we did find one, but the service was not up to par. Adams Drug really spoiled us.
What was it like to come back to Adams Drugs again?
It was very easy. We picked up the phone when we got back, came up to Prattville and called the branch there in Prattville, and they took that phone call and did the rest of it. We didn't have to do a thing. It was very simple. We're glad to be back with them. They're so efficient and customer service oriented.
Come in to any of our 12 Adams Drugs locations. Visit us at adamsdrugs.net to find the location nearest you. Adams Drugs is your independently owned Health Mart pharmacy. Health Mart, taking the time to listen and care.
The views and opinions of the following program are solely those of the host and other contributors. These do not necessarily represent those of Liberty Acquisitions 825, Blue Water Broadcasting, its management, staff, or any advertisers. It's time for Montgomery's conversational radio show. It's News and Views on News Talk 93.1 FM. To join the conversation, call 272-9228.
Joey Clark.
Welcome into the program here. Lovely Tuesday out of Montgomery, Alabama. I'm your host, Joey Clark. Quick rundown of some headlines. President Trump and now calling himself Secretary of War, Pete Hegseth, address top military leaders at the Marine Corps base Quantico. And we will bring you some of what they were laying down. Hegseth mostly talking about standards, which we couldn't get into. There was a false lockdown at Joint Base McGuire, so don't believe everything you read on Twitter or X. Also, the national debt clock approaches $38 trillion as the government might shut down tonight. It seems like we've seen this movie before. And, of course, yesterday, Trump and Netanyahu unveil a 20-point plan to end the war in Gaza. Joining me to talk about this and much more, we have the one, the only Judge Andrew Napolitano. Judge, how you doing today, sir?
I'm well, Joey. How are you, my friend?
Doing well. Very, very well. I will say, just on a personal note, I've learned don't pick up my phone in the morning. Don't look at the news in the morning. Go work out. And then I picked up the Ignatius Catholic Study Bible, and I find that is a much better way to start the day than to immediately look at the news.
Well, I'm not going to argue with you there.
Much more peace in the last week or so. It's a good change up. But we played a lot of the press conference, at least. It really wasn't a press conference. They didn't take questions of Trump and Netanyahu. I've noticed this, too, when they announced the thing on Tylenol. Trump seems to not. His give-a-damn is broken. He's meandering, even says to Bobby Kennedy in that setting, sorry if I ruined your day in your announcement. But generally, besides his style and his approach these days, is there any hope for this 20-point plan?
I don't think so. I can't imagine Hamas accepting it. That they have been popularly elected in Gaza the last time there was an election. Why would they give that up? Why would they give up their arms after the Holocaust that Israel has visited on them? And on the other end of this, I can't imagine Netanyahu's right-wing colleagues accepting this, because they want to destroy Gaza and destroy all the Palestinians. I mean, Netanyahu has visited a Holocaust on the Gazans. I'm going to quote my buddy Max Blumenthal. This Trump effort is putting a lipstick on a Holocaust. Doesn't work.
Yeah, I don't know if I agree with that characterization. I would say it's a war and a long running conflict at that, and the losers of the war.
Well, it's a Holocaust because they are putting bullets into the heads of babies, and because they're starving the population that has survived their military attack.
Okay. I look at this and it seems like the long run goal is to put it in a crass way, make Gaza Dubai, then we will give you statehood.
And they want to do that through a neo-colonialism, how appropriate, headed by a former British prime minister who was the biggest cheerleader for the Afghanistan war after Dick Cheney, the biggest.
Yeah, when he said Tony Blair, I'm like, can't we find anybody else? Anybody at all? I'm sitting here hoping Hamas accepts the deal. I think the only way they accept it is if, say, other players, their backers in the region, are actually putting the pressure on them. But I want this to end. I think at this point, everybody, despite knowing what will be the plan going forward, what are the causes of this going back, we can go, when do you start the clock? 80 years ago, if not longer. I think what we want is the killing to stop at this moment.
I'm not so sure that Netanyahu and company want the killing to stop. If you listen to what Ben Gvir and Smotrich, the two members of his cabinet who hail from the right-wing coalition, have said, they want the killing to continue until everybody's dead. In fact, one of them has already condemned this deal. If he and his colleagues leave the government, there can be no deal because Netanyahu will just be a caretaker without legal authority, except in time of emergency under Israeli law, until there's a new election. So he's really walking a tightrope here. I don't think he was in favor of this. I also don't think he came to the White House yesterday expecting that Trump would order him to make a phone call and Trump would listen in on the call, which is what happened when Netanyahu called the emir of Qatar to apologize 3 weeks late for attacking a residential neighborhood in Doha.
Wow. Yeah, it does seem like there's this. I go back to that first press conference where Trump says, we're just going to take Gaza. Everybody freaked out. And I believe you had Scott Ritter saying this might be him flipping the table over. Now, the support for this Israeli government, I think, will continue, just as the political reality of this country for the time being. The younger generation's a different question coming up. But I would like to see, like, could they actually solve this by going around what has been the normal process and attempts at peace over 80 years? I don't know. I hope it happens. But real quick, shifting gears to the other major war, Trump has done a complete U-turn on Russia. What are your folks telling you? What do you think of this U-turn on Russia?
So my folks are telling me that this was not a slip of the tongue or an absent-minded statement as it appeared to be, but rather an effort to calm the neocons like General Kellogg and Senator Graham and Sebastian Gorka, who whisper into his ear persistently, at the same time to hand the ball off to the Europeans, which Trump knows, I'll continue the football metaphor, they can't run with. They just don't have the funds. That will wind down the Ukrainian war. The Russians do not want to end the war until they have totally degraded the Ukrainian military. They're interested in degrading military as much as they are in liberating areas of Ukraine that have been historically Russian, because they don't want to put up with this much longer. Zelensky is going to end up with a situation far worse than the one he had negotiated for in 2022, which Joe Biden and Boris Johnson, then the British Prime Minister, talked him out of, because he's going to have less territory and he's got 1,000,001 young men dead who were alive in 2022.
Well, and I'm not unfortunately, I'm not surprised by this outcome, because you and like a lot of the folks you talked to have been saying the Russians feel like, number one, they have the stronger hand here. Number two, they have very clear red lines and war demands. Yeah, and they're not going to stop unless those are met. Why stop now?
Yeah, Joey, I'm going to have to go. I apologize. I have my usual crew on Judging Freedom Plus, and Ask the Judge for anybody that wants to type in a question about the Constitution. I will answer it.
Yeah, I'll check out Judging Freedom. Appreciate it as always, Judge.
Thank you, Joey. All the best.
God bless. Again, folks, the one, the only Judge Andrew Napolitano. Byron Sheehy is here in the studio with me today. How you doing, man?
What's up, Joey?
Oh, life is all right, I suppose.
Temperature's changing. It's got to be a little pleasant, right?
Yeah, oh, that's pleasant.
Small
And I did
small
change up the
victories.
morning routine, and it's much more pleasant.
Yeah, little spice of variety there.
Yeah, so, life is good in that general sense. Did you catch any of Trump and Hegseth's address? So it's this crazy meeting where they bring in all the top leadership, and everybody's like, what is this about?
Yeah.
And then they make it a public address.
Mm-hmm.
So did you catch any of this?
I saw about 30, 45 seconds of it.
Well, we'll get into some of the details of this. Trump really is meandering. Somebody texted me saying Trump's just meandering again. And this, actually, I think today he wasn't as bad. He had the generals laughing, like he actually was a little more to the point and purpose. And then they had another major announcement, and we'll have to share some of the clips from the Oval Office. They had the CEO of Pfizer, brought to you by Pfizer, who agreed because of the most favored nation executive order Trump passed about drug prices a couple months ago. Pfizer has now agreed to take a whole menu of their most popular drugs in America and offer them at 50 to 100% off discount.
Wow.
Yeah.
About time.
About time. I hadn't had a chance to really dig into that myself about, is this just the first major company? How does this affect in particular costs for government? How does this affect all sorts of things? And is Pfizer the first domino to fall after this most favored nations thing Trump has put in the way of some of the pharmaceutical companies? We can definitely get into that. And I keep watching. The national debt clock approaches 38 trillion as the government might shut down tonight. Of course, Trump in classic fashion, after Hakeem Jeffries and Chuck Schumer came over to the White House to visit, and there was no agreement at all. They did their real quick right outside the White House press conference. This is what we saw, and Trump sucks, and we're not going to, they want to shut the government down. We don't want to shut right. The usual movie we've seen. Trump's team and Trump put it on his official page. It wasn't just like Trump War Room. It wasn't like the Rapid Response Team. It was the official Trump accounts. It was that same scene of Schumer and Jeffries doing their quick impromptu press conference, and Trump team had superimposed quite effectively a big mustache and a sombrero on Hakeem, and they had Chuck Schumer saying fake things like people are tired of our crap, but they didn't say crap. It's so tired of it that we don't have any normal. We're having to bring in all these other new voters that we want to pay for their health care, even though they came into the country illegally. And Hakeem Jeffries is very, very upset at Donald Trump's bigotry for putting a sombrero and a mustache on him.
I just love that we can make fun of our political figures and no one gets upset about it.
Yeah, except for those particular political figures. Also, this Michigan shooter described Mormons as the Antichrist and had a relationship with a Mormon woman. What in the world, man?
I mean, this whole, I don't even know, man. It doesn't make any sense. A long line of things that don't make sense here recently.
Yeah, there is a long line of things that you're right that just don't add up. A lot of questions like we were talking about yesterday, the pipe bomb thing still doesn't add up. Remember the pipe bomb set outside the RNC and the DNC on January 6th?
Yeah.
Still don't have any new insights, any new leads. And in fact, the key person who initially called it in, the bomb in front of the RNC, who works there, she said they showed up after she called it in. They didn't get in touch with her to describe how she found it, what she found, when she found it. She had to go and call a tip line several days later. Then they finally got back to her, and her understanding of when she found it doesn't match up to the timeline they laid out of when the bombs were put down. She said, when I walked in, it wasn't there. When I went to lunch, I saw it.
What did we expect? I mean,
right.
We know that feds were on the premises participating on the event. So who's actually supposed to look into this? The people who were participating?
All right. Right. And not to lose the thread, another example of answers we don't have. Did you see the crazy video put out of Thomas Matthew Crooks, the guy who shot Trump in Butler, Pennsylvania, where it's him just in his room dry firing a pistol.
That's the first thing I've ever heard about this kid.
Yeah.
Like,
But I thought his whole internet, where did this video come from?
right.
I thought he didn't have a history, he had no footprint.
Well, that's kind of my point. Like,
And it's just a creepy video. Why are you filming yourself with no ammunition and stuff, just like dry firing on camera?
Why is that
Why?
what got released? Why is that
Right.
the only thing they found?
Who is this guy? Then there's so many questions, like whatever. But I want to come back to the point on this Gaza conflict ending plan. I don't know. I think there are a lot of ifs here. After reading through this, the first step that needs to happen is Hamas has to accept this thing. Now, I listened to the judge's show, his talk with Jeffrey Sachs, who I think is a smart enough guy, maybe a well-intentioned guy. I think he's a man of the UN and those institutions, and thus, here's what I would say. All the folks that complain about you're not getting to the core issues of the conflict, Byron, you're not getting to the core issues of the conflict as we've understood them. We've been working at this, us top diplomats and economists, and we've been working at this for decades. And you just aren't getting to the core issues of the conflict. And Trump and team in the first term said, yeah, y'all been trying that for how long? And how many wars have broken out? And how many people have died? And what seems to happen is every time y'all have one of your peace negotiations addressing the core issues of the conflict, what happens, everybody signs it, you have a big huzzah, hooray, wonderful, and then what happens is it gets torn to shreds. Israel gets more land, and the Palestinian leaders get more money that don't actually go to benefit their people. And that had been happening over and over and over and over again. So Trump and team's approach is, what if we just say these core issues of the conflict that y'all keep throwing out? Balderdash, hogwash, nonsense. This is a failed approach. You keep hitting your head against a wall. This is just creating more unrest and more insecurity, and it's going to end very badly. Turns out it did. Turns out I think Joe Biden and team really screwed the pooch on not helping to continue the Abraham Accords. The idea of the Abraham Accords was not, oh, this is like addressing every conflict under the sun. We'll have this one big political bow and new status quo that we've tied together. The idea of the Abraham Accords is like, start small and practical. Can you do economic exchange, recognize each other's like status, like right to exist in the case of Israel? Can people travel for tourism? And so let's start with like Dubai. Dubai's like a Western city in many ways. Like they hold all sorts of big events, like sporting events, entertainment events, more and more conventions and stuff. Like, and Dubai's just one example. Trump's visit to Saudi Arabia really has changed in a big way. And so these are still Muslim nations run by these monarchs, but they've decided we're done with the terrorism of our fathers and grandfathers. All it did was make us backwaters when we're sitting on all this wealth. What's our problem? So the idea is like, you know what? We can recognize Israel. We don't like what they're doing with the Palestinians, but honestly, we don't like the whole status quo in general. So you know what? We'll have cultural exchange. We'll trade economically. And then as we practically do these things, maybe we build trust over time with one another. Now, I have to say, after October 7th, and then the fight against Hezbollah and the fight on Iran, and you better believe on Hezbollah and Iran, you had some of the Gulf Arab nations saying, oh, that's good. Thank you for hitting the Shiites. Thank you for hitting Iran's presence in here. Y'all were making us nervous. But what was also making them nervous, why you heard the judge say Trump demanded Netanyahu call Qatar, is after the Israelis most recently struck Qatar, Saudi Arabia was immediately bringing up, we're probably needing to go seek nuclear weapons. If the Israelis are just going to strike with impunity, even in places where the U.S. is in good standing, maybe we need our own defense situation. So this is, it has to be done practically step by step over time because it can fall off the rails. And so the idea is like, stop it with your philosophical, your UN back, the same damn people looking at the same damn script, beating their heads against the wall that hasn't brought peace to anybody. Instead, we're going to try a practical approach. It may not work. So here's the 20-point plan. But it's not about like pie in the sky statehood and all that. We're going to settle the land issues and we're going to settle all. No. We're not going to settle that right now. Maybe down the road. Here's what we're going to settle now. Number one, Gaza will be de-radicalized, terror-free zone that poses no threat to its neighbors. It's the first principle. Gaza will be redeveloped for the benefit of the people of Gaza, who have suffered more than enough. That's the second principle. If both sides agree to this proposal, the war will immediately end. Israeli forces will withdraw to the agreed-upon lines to prepare for hostage release. During this time, all military operations, including aerial and artillery bombardment, will be suspended, and battle lines will remain frozen until conditions are met for the complete stage withdrawal. Within 72 hours of Israel publicly accepting this agreement, all hostages, alive and deceased, will be returned. Now we're on number 5. Once all hostages are released, Israel will release 250 life sentence prisoners plus 1,700 Gazans who were detained after October 7, 2023, including all women and children detained in that context. For every Israeli hostage whose remains are released, Israel will release the remains of 15 deceased Gazans. Number 6. Once all hostages are returned, Hamas members who commit to peaceful coexistence and to decommission their weapons will be given amnesty. Members of Hamas who wish to leave Gaza will be provided safe passage to receiving countries. Upon acceptance of this agreement, full aid will immediately be sent into the Gaza Strip. Now, number 8, entry of distribution and aid in the Gaza Strip will proceed without interference from the two parties through the United Nations and its agencies. So again, a big problem is aid that's been, like you had both sides it's not actually getting to folks. Number 9, Gaza will be governed under the temporary transitional governance of a technocratic, apolitical Palestinian committee responsible for delivering the day-to-day running of public services and municipalities for the people in Gaza. This committee will be made up of qualified Palestinians and international experts with oversight and supervision by a new international transitionary body, the Board of Peace, which will be headed and chaired by President Donald J. Trump. Trump saying yesterday when he announced this that, not like I need more work, but I'll do it. The Board of Peace. Beautiful name.
The
really.
committee, what's the breakdown on Palestinians versus international actors?
That's a good question. And that has not yet been announced. All they did is float the name of Tony Blair.
In this redevelopment, where's that supposed to come from? How's that breakdown?
This body will set the framework and handle. So the body is being announced because they need to create like this framework and handle funding for the redevelopment of Gaza until such a time as the Palestinian Authority has completed its reform program. They're calling on the Palestinian Authority to stop it teaching hatred of Jews to your children. Stop it. Like, they have a long list of, y'all have to stop doing this crap. Y'all have been like this, Again, there's a lot of ifs here. There's a lot of practical steps people will have to go through. But and they're saying, once you do that, we can go back to other plans that have already been drawn up by many other players in the region. But this body will call on best international standards to create modern and efficient governance that serves the people of Gaza and is conducive to attracting investment. A Trump economic development plan, this is principle number 10, to rebuild and energize Gaza will be created by convening a panel of experts who have helped birth some of the thriving modern miracle cities in the Middle East. Many thoughtful investment proposals and exciting development ideas have been crafted by well-meaning international groups and will be considered to synthesize the security and governance frameworks to attract and facilitate these investments. So create jobs, opportunity, and hope for the future of Gaza. Number 11, a special economic zone will be established with preferred tariff and access rates to be negotiated with participating countries. Number 12, no one will be forced to leave Gaza, and those who wish to leave will be free to do so and free to return. We will encourage people to stay and offer them the opportunity to build a better Gaza. Number 13, Hamas and other factions agree to not have any role in the governance of Gaza, directly, indirectly, or in any form, while military terror and offensive infrastructure, including tunnels and weapons production facilities, will be destroyed and not rebuilt. There will be a process of demilitarization of Gaza under the supervision of independent monitors, which will include placing weapons permanently beyond use through an agreed process of decommissioning, and supported by an internationally funded buyback and reintegration program, all verified by the independent monitors. Number 14, a guarantee will be provided by regional partners to ensure that Hamas and the factions comply with their obligations and that New Gaza poses no threat to its neighbors or its people. The United States will then work with the Arab and international partners to develop a temporary international stabilization force to immediately deploy in Gaza. This ISF, this International Stabilization Force, will train and provide support to vetted Palestinian police forces in Gaza and will consult with Jordan and Egypt, who have extensive experience in this field. This force will be the long-term internal security solution. The ISF will work with Israel and Egypt to help secure border areas, along with newly trained Palestinian police forces. It is critical to prevent munitions from entering Gaza and to facilitate the rapid and secure flow of goods to rebuild and revitalize Gaza. Number 16, Israel will not occupy or annex Gaza. As the ISF establishes control and stability, the Israeli Defense Forces will withdraw based on standards, milestones, and timeframes linked to demilitarization that will be agreed upon between the IDF, the ISF, and the guarantors, and the United States with the objective of secure Gaza. Number 17, in the event Hamas delays or rejects this proposal, the above, including the scaled-up operation, will proceed in the terror-free areas handed over from the IDF to the ISF. An interfaith dialogue process will be established based on the values of tolerance and peaceful coexistence to try and change mindsets and narratives of Palestinians and Israelis by emphasizing the benefits that can be derived from peace. Number 19, while Gaza redevelopment advances and when the Palestinian Authority reform program is faithfully carried out, the conditions may finally be in place for a credible pathway to Palestinian self-determination and statehood, which we recognize as the aspiration of the Palestinian people. Number 20, the United States will establish a dialogue between Israel and the Palestinians to agree on apolitical horizon for peaceful and prosperous coexistence. Yeah, so it's kind of what I said to the judge. I think what they're essentially saying is we're going to bring in the folks who literally made Dubai.
Mm-hmm.
And once this place becomes Dubai with a security force put together by other Gulf Arabs that will run the place as police forces. Once that's all set in place, then you can have a nation.
I wouldn't sign it.
Yeah?
I wouldn't.
Who are you, though, in this situation?
If I was Palestine.
If you're Hamas, you wouldn't touch it?
What was the decommissioning weapons aspect?
Oh, yeah. But that's the thing. This is a... That's why I disagree with some of the language being thrown around, including by some of my guests. Not you know what I'm talking about. It's like this is a war. It's been on again, off again for some time. It was turned on again in a massive way on October 7th. The people that Hamas slaughtered were literally the peacenik pacifist hippies living in communes right on the border. Some of the stories of the people slaughtered who were going into Gaza to take kids who were sick, who could only get what they needed at Israeli hospitals. They were doing that. Those are the people that were killed. The people that lived in these are some of the most liberal, hippy-dippy types.
Mm-hmm.
And God loved those people for having a heart and trying to care for people in need. And what do they get as thanks for their peace? They get slaughtered. So it's back on. And it seems like from the get-go, Sinwar, his whole idea was, yep, we're going to do something so awful that they will have to respond. And when they respond, we have built up a whole network, and our main weapon, our main military asset will be our people. The tunnels won't be for the people. You know, when you saw these Iranian missiles flying into Israel, you know, they have shelters where the Israeli people living could go under. Not in Gaza. The tunnels are not for the people. That's for us to move weapons, materiel, and men.
Mm-hmm.
And to lure the Israelis into no-win situation. No, that's not for you. Y'all are our shield. And y'all are also every one of your deaths is our sword, too. Cutting away at support for Israel and the Zionists. The more they kill us. And so, at this point, the reality is Israel has won the kinetic war, and they're about to win it fully. In an awful way. In many ways, they have started losing support because they're losing the hybrid war. There are a lot of people that support Israel's right to defend themselves who are even getting wobbly on many of the images and what's happening in Gaza. You know, I'm looking at a map here that shows how much the Israelis control and how much they would step back as each phase is met and as the new international security force would come in and take over the area. But like, the analogy is look at the end of World War II. What did we do with Germany? What did we do with Japan? Germany, we were a little rougher because, you know, half of it was being done by the Soviets. The other half is we actually had to invade, and we're here in your country, and we're going to do what we need to do. Japan, MacArthur was a little nicer because we didn't have to actually invade them. But still, we made very hardcore demands. And these things are not necessarily pie in the sky. They're hard. They're practical. If you start a war in a heinous way and you lose it, you don't get to make demands. So that's it. You're saying you're Hamas in this situation. Right. You don't want to accept it. Okay. Then you're going to die.
I mean,
that might very well be. They have a few.
I think we've proven, or they've proven that time and time again, that they're okay with that outcome.
Right.
Help me out with this. What's the major difference between where we are now and the Abraham Accords versus where we were internationally with the Oslo in the mid-90s? Because it seems like that was already to the finish line and they were putting pen to paper, and then...
Well, and there are some aspects of Oslo that are in effect still, in terms of like some local autonomy to the Palestinian Authority in the West Bank, these sorts of things. Like there are different zones of the West Bank. Some of that is still in effect. As far as the Abraham Accords, I mean, I didn't look this week. I haven't looked. My sense of it is that it's held, but it has been tattered and torn over the last 3 years. A lot of these places that initially signed were probably getting squeamish, and yet publicly they have to be very outraged indeed. But then behind the scenes, they kind of like that their main rival in the Middle East, the Persians, are getting their and the Persians' allies are getting their butt kicked. They kind of like that. So there's this mixed feeling, I'd imagine. But somebody like Saudi Arabia has not signed it. And that would be they like being called the crown jewel. That would be the crown jewel of getting a lot of support through the Gulf Arabs. And as long as this war is going on, Saudi will not recognize Israel or join the accord. So I have a sense of people that are already in them will lead on the redevelopment plan. And then also seeing that, that's actually going well, I'd imagine you're going to see the Saudis jump in. I don't know about Turkey. Turkey's a different ballgame, but it's interesting to see this shift because it can happen. It's not going to look like some UN bureaucrats or diplomats pie in the sky. We got to get to the causes of the conflict, the root causes of the conflict. No, somebody needs to win the conflict and then dictate the terms of peace. Hamas, reading what I just read, probably doesn't like it. Mm-hmm. But if it's not just the U.S. and Israel saying, you've lost, take the peace, we're going to let you leave peacefully. We're not going to kill you, by the way. We're not going to harm you if you actually surrender. But it's not just the U.S. or Israel doing that. It is, I'm sure, a lot of different players who had been giving a bit of cover to Hamas. So if your own people then come to you and say, take this.
Right. That's where the refinancing is going to have to come from. It's going to have to come from the Saudi Arabia side, Qatar, whomever we're friendly with, Jordan, Turkey, whomever. Right. They're going to have to drive this.
But of course, I lay all this out and have spent 30-something minutes on this because it very well could be Hamas says no, and then Israel continues to roll into Gaza City and the last few square miles of Gaza they do not currently hold.
Yeah, I mean, I think
it's going to be off.
I think it's one of those they fully intend for them to say no.
Yeah.
As practical as it may seem to us on this side.
And that's the thing is, I have heard from my Zionist friends. Mm-hmm. I've heard from my friends like Judge Knapp, my more anti-war, anti-Zionist friends. Almost the same thing. It's interesting. Like the pro-Israel folks, this is just they know it won't work, so we're still going in. Mm-hmm. So when you hear the right wing that are part of this, unity government saying, no, we can't accept the terms of this stuff. You also have folks that are more anti-Zionist. You can't accept the terms of this stuff. And it will always be sort of the folks who actually have practical power and try to say, you know what, we're not going to solve all this. You can either keep on killing each other or we have an offer. And I think it's what Trump tried with Russia and Ukraine. You want to really keep seeing your people killed? You really want to kill more folks? Are you that confident in your ability to keep prosecuting this war? Because you don't have to do this. It's not good for you. We'll make it sweet for you. The issue is, in this war, Israel is the strong horse that does want to keep running. So they are then able, being in the position to dictate more demands. The issue with the Ukraine war is Russia is the strong horse. That's actually the belligerent fighting. And they're no position to want to be dictated to. Do I like any of this? Do I think it's moral? No. This is mass murder. For what? It's crazy. It's why I like Trump's instinct, though. Whether he, how heartfelt he means it or not, I want to believe in his better angels. The idea of stop the killing, let's make peace. Stop it. Backed up by, if you want to kill, we kill better than anybody else.
I think that's where, Joey, we have to go back to the motive behind it and or remove the motive behind it. It doesn't matter why or how we get there, so long as we get to the ceasefire and stop the kill.
Yes,
we can.
It's that first building, and it's not spectacular. You got to do the little practical step, first step.
Whatever we have to do to get there,
and then we do the next step. Yeah, right.
Let's get there.
Right, and I think there has been, unfortunately, this idea that that the hard-boiled reality of power is not what rules the earth. This earth.
Mm-hmm.
It is, in many ways. Or it pretends to. I'll put it that way. It pretends to. And it's quite effective at its pretending. And some are up, some are down, whatever. But if you're trying to actually solve these things, coming in and giving them like a moral lecture, that doesn't work. Nah. I don't think that's going to reach the Jiminy Crickets in their hearts. Or their conscience.
It's worked out so well for us in the past. I don't know why we would deviate now, right?
This part of the program brought to you by Bo Goodson and the Goodson Group. And there at the Goodson Group, Bo and his team are ready to help you with, buying or selling a home here in the River Region real estate market. And not only can they help you buying and selling property here in the Montgomery and surrounding areas, they can also help you out if you want to rent out your property, rent out your home. Really great idea in this market. And they have management services there at the Goodson Group that can help you actually get this job done. Make your home that you want to rent out a performing asset. And then the crown jewel there at the Goodson Group is the Bo Goodson Real Estate School, one of the most highly acclaimed and accredited real estate programs in the great state of Alabama. So y'all check them out today. You can always learn more at thegoodsongroup.com or give them a call at 551-0225. That's 551-0225. Bo Goodson and the Goodson Group, great sponsor here of the program.
He may not know whether he's coming or going, but whether you're going to work or coming home, Greg Budell is there. Mornings, 6 till 9, and afternoons, 3 till 6. Only on News Talk 93.1 FM, WACV.
Before you commit to that plumbing repair or upgrade, get a second opinion from Headley Plumbing. Our estimate could save you thousands. We do it all: residential, commercial, and septic tank service, serving the entire river region. No membership, no contract, just fair, reliable service. Call Headley Plumbing at 285-3667 or visit headleyplumbing.com. In our business, a flush beats a full house.
Headley Metal Buildings has been your source for quality metal buildings in the River Region since 2007. Carports up to 24 feet wide, RV covers, storage buildings, even a sturdy metal barn up to 54 feet wide. Your structure can be customized, installed on level ground, and comes with a 20-year warranty. Let Headley Metal Buildings help you find the perfect solution. For a limited time, you can get 5 to 25% off your new Eagle Metal building. Financing available. Call 285-3667 for details or find Headley Metal Buildings on Facebook.
What's your biggest investment? More than likely, it's your home. So treat it that way when you hire a painting contractor. At PBS Painting, there are no gimmicks, no $99 specials. Just quality painting and someone who treats your home with the same respect that you do. At PBS Painting, we have been painting for years and look forward to many more years to come. With PBS Painting, the job gets prepped properly, whether it's cleaning, scraping, or priming. We always use quality products, which is a must for a quality paint job. So if you're looking for a painter that doesn't need upfront money and is on the job at all times, then please give me a call. Scott Bowers and PBS Painting, 294-5122. That's PBS Painting, 294-5122. Look at some of our work on Facebook at PBS Painting Montgomery.
Welcome to Eclectic Coins, Montgomery's largest coin dealer, specializing in buying and selling investment-grade gold and silver coins. And they have a large selection of rare coins and coins from around the world. Visit them at 543 Northeastern Boulevard or on the web at eclecticcoins.com. Eclectic Coins, where collectors who know go.
Is foot pain holding you back? Visit the Good Feet store for a free personalized fitting and test walk.
This is David Ernest from the Health and Wealth Show. We like to cut up and have fun, maybe poke a little fun at some politicians, but we don't take ourselves too seriously. One thing we do take seriously is your personal finances and your plans for retirement. You can tell by listening, we're a little different. Yeah, we like to have a good time on the radio, but we're dead serious about your financial future and helping you achieve your goals. At Ernest Financial, we're committed to giving you the attention you need. We don't treat you like a number. You're way more important to us. At Ernest Financial, it's about helping you today and preparing you for tomorrow. People call us who are on the verge of retirement, and they know they need a plan for the future. No matter where you are in life, Ernest Financial will help guide your every step towards retirement. Give us a call and let us show you what our individual customer attention can do for your future.
Concerned about your retirement? Call David Ernest toll-free at 833-596-7233. That's 833-596-SAFE.
Rich Thomas Weather, a service of Riverside Chevrolet Wetumpka. If it's Chevy, it's Riverside. Best price, best selection. Check them out on the web at riversideusa.net.
Rich Thomas Weather.
Well, hi, everybody. On this last day of September, it's mainly a dry forecast. Expect a sun and cloud mix today with a high temperature up to about 87. Rain chances are not zero, but we'll say 20% or less, mainly in the afternoon and evening hours. Low tonight down to about 64. Tomorrow, Thursday and Friday, mostly sunny, dry. Upper 80s on Wednesday, 84 Thursday, 83 Friday, and the nights will be a little cooler. We'll be near 60, I think, by Friday morning, and dry through Saturday. From the Blue Water Weather Center, this is Rich Thomas.
Trustworthy, accurate, immediate. Carrying your voice across the river region. News Talk 93.1 FM WACV.
Joey Clark, Byron Sheehy here in the studio with me. Now let's go to this morning, and it was mentioned last week. That Trump and Hegseth, the Secretary of War, had called all top military leadership from around the world together, and they apparently all met this morning. Not for a private meeting, but for a public address from the Secretary of War and from the President of the United States at Quantico. So let's hear a little bit of what Hegseth, and this 3 minutes, and we'll play some of the more colorful stuff he said. But this 3 minutes is kind of the main thrust of what he was getting at the meeting.
I don't want my son serving alongside troops who are out of shape, or in combat unit with females who can't meet the same combat arms physical standards as men, or troops who are not fully proficient on their assigned weapons, platform, or task, or under a leader who was the first, but not the best. Standards must be uniform, gender neutral, and high. If not, they're not standards. They're just suggestions. Suggestions that get our sons and daughters killed. When it comes to combat arms units, and there are many different stripes across our joint force, the era of politically correct, overly sensitive, don't hurt anyone's feelings leadership ends right now.
Yeah, and essentially, and we'll keep going with this. This was, if I had to sum up Hegseth's speech in particular, this was welcome to the new Department of War. This isn't just a name change. Welcome in. And y'all are the leaders to help implement this new vision. And in some ways, I'm taking the gloves off you guys.
From a propaganda standpoint, if you're our enemies, would you use this like, okay, you know, they're bad, or would you spend this like, oh, they're depleted and the military's been running to the ground for the past 12 years?
I wouldn't necessarily be shaking my boots, but I'd be like, I mean, you should already be very aware of American firepower and our capacity to kill people
Unless
and
you're
break
North
stuff.
Korea.
Right. No, I think this is more like, oh, damn, they're kind of shaking off the dust. Like, and that's what they're saying. It's not just a name change from the Department of Defense to the Secretary of, or to the Department of War, which back to the Department of War. It is, hey, we're doing a cleaning house of all these standards have been built up, all the ways we've been doing stuff since we were the victors in that big war. Time to reassess, top to bottom. This is why I think they called them all there, to be like, I want to say this publicly to the world, but to y'all directly. And I imagine there was some interfacing before and afterwards.
Bill, you haven't passed a PT test in like 8 years.
Oh, you're anticipating this. Let's listen in.
At every level, either you can meet the standard, either you can do the job, either you are disciplined, fit, and trained, or you are out. And that's why today, at my direction, and this is the first of 10 Department of War directives that are arriving at your commands as we speak and in your inbox. Today, at my direction, each service will ensure that every requirement for every combat MOS, for every designated combat arms position, returns to the highest male standard only. Because this job is life or death. Standards must be met. And not just met, at every level, we should seek to exceed the standard, to push the envelope, to compete. It's common sense and core to who we are and what we do. It should be in our DNA. Today, at my direction, we are also adding a combat field test for combat arms units that must be executable in any environment at any time and with combat equipment. These tests, they'll look familiar. They'll resemble the Army Expert Physical Fitness Assessment or the Marine Corps Combat Fitness Test. I'm also directing that warfighters in combat jobs execute their service fitness test at a gender-neutral, age-normed male standard scored above 70%. It all starts with physical fitness and appearance. If the Secretary of War can do regular, hard PT, so can every member of our joint force. Frankly, it's tiring to look out at combat formations, or really any formation, and see fat troops. Likewise, it's completely unacceptable to see fat generals and admirals in the halls of the Pentagon and leading commands around the country and the world. It's a bad look. It is bad, and it's not who we are. So whether you're an airborne ranger or a chairborne ranger, a brand new private or a 4-star general, you need to meet the height and weight standards and pass your PT test. And as the chairman said, yes, there is no PT test. But today, at my direction, every member of the joint force at every rank is required to take a PT test twice a year, as well as meet height and weight requirements twice a year, every year of service. Also today, at my direction, every warrior across our joint force is required to do PT every duty day. Should be common sense. I mean, most units do that already, but we're codifying it. And we're not talking like hot yoga and stretching. Real hard PT, either as a unit or as an individual. At every level, from the Joint Chiefs to everyone in this room to the youngest private, leaders set the standard. And so many of you do this already. Active, Guard, and Reserve.
And it's fascinating. You listen carefully to what he said. He said, what is now the male-only standard, that's just the standard.
Mm-hmm.
And I've got another clip where he says, If female warriors, which we love, many of them, are meeting that neutral standard, great. But we're not doing this like two different sets of standards. We're not doing this, oh, we'll look the other way if you got a nice rank. We're not doing that anymore. Now,
gender neutral, male appropriate.
Yeah, gender neutral, but the idea is like
male appropriate. Yeah,
our neutral is like what we would expect of our hardest men.
I took that as neutral. Everyone can participate, male and female,
Yes.
but you got to pass the male standard.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. There's no lower standard than the standard.
Mm-hmm.
And there are women that can meet that standard in certain situations for certain.
Starting to sound like Saban. The standard is the standard.
Anyway, that's just a preview. We also had Trump. Trump was laying out more of the broad strokes of welcome to the new Department of War. But that's what this was, long and short of it. If you want your main takeaway, it was saying it's not just a name change. It's also a major change in the way we're doing things, in the way we actually structure ourselves, the way we maintain ourselves, down from like actual capacity and ability with, the weapon you're supposed to be using and your particular job you're supposed to be doing, to like just basic appearance. Even if you're a 4-star, like we have to tighten up. When we get to Trump, he's going to lay out more of the geopolitical shift of, in particular, we're going to be focusing on the Western Hemisphere. So I think this is a big, it's going to take a while to implement a lot of stuff, but it is a big shift, or at least an attempt at a big shift within the Pentagon culture.
What do you think the purge will be of the top brass? Out of the number,
they've already purged a lot.
Out of the number of men and women sitting in that room, how many do you think aren't here in 2 years?
I have no idea, but that is a fantastic question. I got to hit a quick break here. But first, this part of the program brought to you by Montgomery Men's Health. And there at Montgomery Men's Health, they're ready to help you fellas out. Whether you're looking to just feel better, maybe you got performance issues, like you're feeling fine in general, but when it comes to the bedroom, you've got issues. That's no fun.
No good.
Honestly, that makes you just like not want to do that. You just get all excited for nothing.
Sleep on the couch.
Disappoint her, disappoint yourself. That's just no fun. But if you do feel generally tired, sluggish, just exhausted, physically and mentally, it could very well be a low testosterone problem. So why not get by Montgomery Men's Health? They have no guesswork, no gimmicks, just real science and effective treatments. They're not just going to throw a bunch of generic fixes at you. No, the urologist and providers there at Montgomery Men's Health will tailor solutions specifically to your body and goals. And it is beyond just testosterone. ED treatments and other options many men don't know exist are there at Montgomery Men's Health. And it's affordable and accessible. That first consultation, including blood work, is just $99 with the results before you leave. Gentlemen, you only got one life. Procrastination is only going to make this worse. Call them up today at 440-3663. That's 440-3663. Or visit MontgomeryMen'sHealth.com to book your appointment today. Be sure to tell them that Joey fella on the radio sent you.
Want to carry News Talk in your pocket? Download the News Talk 93.1 app from the App Store. Available on iPhone and Android. Never miss a moment. Download now.
Talking about guns with others might not always feel comfortable, but it could save a life. Here's a way to start a conversation. Your family is going over to your neighbor's home for dinner for the first time. How would you ask if there are any unlocked guns in the home?
Hey, we're so excited for tonight. Before we come over, though, may I ask if there are any unlocked guns in your home?
Our guns are stored securely, locked in a safe that the kids can't access.
Awesome. Learn how to have the conversation at agreetoagree.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council.
Progressive's Auto Quote Explorer lets you easily compare direct rates from different insurance companies, so you can be confident you're getting the right one, even if it's not with Progressive. Way more confident than you were when you bought that TV in a parking lot. It just happened to not come in a box or include a remote. And when you finally managed to turn it on, all it displayed was the menu of Grumpy's Tacos. So use Progressive's Auto Quote Explorer and be confident you're getting insurance that's right for you. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates. Not available in all states or situations. Prices vary based on how you buy.
For too long, Alabama's statewide news companies have shamed us for our conservative Christian values. Alabama deserves a news company that cherishes our culture, a company that isn't bought and paid for by the powers that be. 1819 News is that company. Run by Alabamians for Alabamians, 1819 News celebrates what is good and beautiful about our state while exposing those who work against our values in secret. Just go to 1819news.com to learn more. Subscribe to our newsletter. That's 1819news.com.
All the headlines the mainstream media won't touch. Your News Talk station. News Talk 93.1 FM WACV.
Welcome back. In a second, we'll have to go to our top of the hour break. First, though, let's finish up with the Secretary of War, Pete Hegseth. He continues on with the changing of standards within the military.
This, and I want to be very clear about this, this is not about preventing women from serving. We very much value the impact of female troops. Our female officers and NCOs are the absolute best in the world. But when it comes to any job that requires physical power to perform in combat, those physical standards must be high and gender neutral. If women can make it, excellent. If not, it is what it is. If that means no women qualify for some combat jobs, so be it. That is not the intent, but it could be the result, so be it. It will also mean that weak men won't qualify because we're not playing games. This is combat. This is life or death. As we all know, this is you versus an enemy hell-bent on killing you. To be an effective, lethal fighting force, you must trust that the warrior alongside you in battle is capable, truly physically capable of doing what is necessary under fire. You know, this is the only standard you would want for your kids and for your grandkids. Apply the War Department Golden Rule, the 1990 test, and the E6 test, and it's really hard to go wrong.
I can't find anything to disagree with. This is very refreshing.
I don't disagree with anything you said so far.
Very refreshing.
I mean, a 60-pound ruck is going to be a 60-pound ruck, whether it's male or female picking it up. Them's the facts.
Oh, no. And if I had to go do the hardcore PT, it would require probably a month or two of me getting in shape, like real shape. I'm in all right walking around shape, but actually be able to handle past the standards, it should be tough.
You're in all right shape for late 30s, early 40s shape.
Oh yeah, no, if I had to actually start breathing heavy, my cardio sucks.
We're not in young 20 shape.
Oh no. You got to do that up down, carry a 60 pound thing. Yeah, no, I'd gas out pretty quick.
Hold that wall for about 2 minutes.
I'd gas out pretty quick. But I'm saying I also think I could make it through a workout. I just wouldn't meet the standard.
I bet you would.
I think I could get the standard after trying it a few times. Yeah. I'm just assessing myself here. I'm like, no, some of what they would like us to do is no, I've been eating too well.
Mine never matter.
Hard to do 50 pull-ups in 10 minutes when you've been eating, like pasta.
Need those carbs.
Yeah, but then you throw a bunch of butter and garlic and other stuff on that pasta. Then you eat some cheesecake afterwards.
Well, the key is burning those carbs, not letting them accumulate, right?
Right. Yeah. Anyway, we got to hit this top of the hour break. We'll be right back, folks.
Broadcasting from the Riverside Chevrolet Master Control Center, this is WACV Cusana, News Talk 93.1 FM. When it's Chevy, it's Riverside.
With SRN News, I'm John Scott. Drug maker Pfizer has agreed to lower drug costs and invest $70 billion in U.S. manufacturing under a deal struck with President Trump's administration. The president made the announcement with Pfizer's CEO Albert Bourla at the White House. Mr. Trump has for months sought to lower drug costs. The U.S. government nearing a partial shutdown with a range of effects on public services and the broader economy. Employee furloughs and potential layoffs would halt some government activities, while other functions would continue. Medicare and Medicaid insurance programs would continue, but some payments to providers could be delayed with certain employees off the job. Air traffic controllers, of course, would stay on the job. On Wall Street, the Dow dropping 153 points, the NASDAQ 78 in the red. This is SRN News.
This is an important notice to all U.S. taxpayers. The IRS is giving away billions of dollars in tax savings through a federal program called the Fresh Start Initiative to aid delinquent taxpayers. This initiative was established for anyone facing financial hardship and unable to pay their back taxes. Qualifying and enrolling in this program will stop all collections, settle your delinquent tax problem, and even reduce what you owe by thousands of dollars. Call the hotline at People's Tax Relief to see if you qualify and get this free information by dialing 800-458-9469. If you have unfiled tax returns or cannot afford to pay your personal or business back taxes, you can now get the help you need. One simple phone call can resolve your tax problem and save you thousands of dollars. To see if you qualify and to get this important free information, call 800-458-9469. 800-458-9469. 800-458-9469.
Rich Thomas Weather is brought to you by McPhillips Schimbaum.
My name is Aaron Luck, a partner with the law firm of McPhillips Schimbaum. If you or someone in your family has been seriously injured by the negligence of someone else, call me directly.
262-1911. Rich Thomas Weather.
Well, hi, everybody. On this last day of September, it's mainly a dry forecast. Expect a sun and cloud mix today with a high temperature up to about 87. Rain chances are not zero, but we'll say 20% or less, mainly in the afternoon and evening hours. Low tonight down to about 64. Tomorrow, Thursday, and Friday, mostly sunny, dry. Upper 80s on Wednesday, 84 Thursday, 83 Friday, and the nights will be a little cooler. We'll be near 60, I think, by Friday morning, and dry through Saturday. From the Blue Water Weather Center, this is Rich Thomas.
Budget Floors and More has the best prices. Carpet as low as 69 cents per square foot. LVP starting at $1.29 a square foot. Sheet vinyl as low as 65 cents per square foot. And the lowest prices on flooring installation supplies. Budget Floors and More across from Delray Publix.
From the Blue Water Broadcasting News Center, these are today's top stories. Montgomery police have identified the woman who was shot and killed near downtown Friday. The shooting happened just before 7 p.m. in the 500 block of Stone Street, where 34-year-old Jasmine Chilios was found dead from a gunshot wound. Suspect and motive remain unknown. A homicide investigation is underway. Drivers in Montgomery may have noticed a new billboard with the word "Save Anthony Boyd." It's in protest of a scheduled execution set to take place on October 23rd. Anthony Boyd was convicted of dousing a man with gasoline and watching him burn over a $200 drug deal gone bad. The billboard is sponsored by Project Hope to abolish the death penalty. The Montgomery Fire and Rescue Challenge team emerged as national champions after a competition in Oklahoma City. The Montgomery Fire Rescue team competed against almost 150 athletes and 50 teams from throughout the nation and finished first in the relay bracket. Montgomery firefighters also placed third in the tandem event. From the Blue Water Broadcasting News Center, I'm Sky Mosley.
This hour of news and views is brought to you by our good friends at Alabama Home Mortgage. Alabama Home Mortgage, 567-4223. Visit them on the web at myalabamahomemortgage.com. NMLS number 1586368. An equal housing lender.
Hey, this is Troop of Fairland Jewelers. I've been advertising at Blue Water for going on 3 years now. Since starting advertising at Blue Water, we have seen our business grow exponentially. And if you would like to see your business grow, I suggest advertising at Blue Water Broadcasting.
Radio reaches over 90% of everyone in the river region. Shouldn't your ads be out there where your customers are? Call us to find out more. Blue Water Broadcasting. Local folks helping local business.
Hannah, did we just really open up our own real estate brokerage?
We sure did. Hannah and Eddie Realty Group is officially here.
So this isn't just another name in real estate?
Nope. It's still us, the same hardworking individuals. It's just us leveling up to give our clients the best service possible.
More experience, more energy, and more results.
Exactly. Because at the end of the day, who you have on your sign matters. So give me, Hannah Grantham, a call at 334-368-6358.
Or Eddie Bader at 334-322-0662.
Big news! Phillips Dunn Animal Hospital has a new name. But don't worry, everything you love is still the same. Now they're Pike Road Animal Hospital, still at 5148 Troy Highway. Still the same great team you've trusted for years. Same friendly faces, same expert care. Just a new name, and still offering boarding, grooming, and doggy daycare. Pike Road Animal Hospital, formerly Phillips Dunn Animal Hospital. New name, same heart. Compassion you know, care that you trust.
The views and opinions of the following program are solely those of the host and other contributors. These do not necessarily represent those of Liberty Acquisitions 825, Blue Water Broadcasting, its management, staff, or any advertisers. It's time for Montgomery's conversational radio show. It's news and views on News Talk 93.1 FM. To join the conversation, call 272-9228.
Joey Clark.
Welcome back. I'm your host, Joey Clark. Byron Sheehy here in the studio with me. And let's go right to the phones. He's been patient. Talk to Uncle Ron. Hey, Uncle Ron, how you doing?
I'm doing great. How's that?
We're all right.
Hey, I was wanting to comment on what Pete Hegseth said.
What Pete Hegseth said?
Yeah, I'm 100% behind him. Can you hear me okay? I got an echo on my end.
Okay, I think we got you now.
Okay. But anyway, the problem is too much of our public are sitting around watching these NCIS, the not Terminator, what's that big chunky lady, the black lady, that Terminator or something like that. Anyway, it's all these women out there. And I know there's some tough women. My wife's tough. She's tough as nails. But they see them up there kicking bad guys' butts and everything, and it's all scripted, but they don't think about that. You know, so they're thinking, okay, yeah, you get a woman in there, her adrenaline's going to kick up. In a hand-to-hand combat between a well-trained man and a well-trained woman, I believe the man is going to overpower that woman.
Oh, yeah.
And so, like he said, your buddy next to you, you know, he's liable to be next. You got to be able to depend on who's got your six.
Amen. No, and the idea shouldn't be like, well, we just don't want girls. And that isn't the idea. The idea is like, we have a standard. This is really serious. Meet it. And
exactly.
And we're not just talking about like lethal capabilities in combat. We're also talking about just the general way we present and carry ourselves. One part I didn't play, like I wouldn't qualify. Is like, unless you join special forces, cut your damn hair and shave your beard. And I'm like, okay, so it is really, it's a top to bottom change. Yeah.
You know, and I just I'm glad the woke thing is slowly going away, but I don't think it's ever going to be completely dead as long as the Dems are out there pushing the liberals, you know, and people just don't understand. I was telling one of my customers a while ago, the Democrats get 90 seconds on their little news spiel thing, and Republicans get 30 seconds.
There you go.
You know, and it's been that way for a while. I wish I had the money to buy a TV station, or a whole broadcast network.
Well, the good news is, as Elon Musk said after the election, we're the media now. For better or for worse. There's a lot of problems with that, but it's also opened up some new opportunities for sure.
Absolutely. Yeah. Well, you guys have a great day on this beautiful day. And I appreciate everything you guys do and bringing out some truth.
Thanks, sir. Thank you, Uncle Ron. This part of the program brought to you by James Cole and Cole Plumbing. And they're at Cole Plumbing. They're ready to help you with any and all of your plumbing issues. Say you do have a major problem. Like your water bill shows up and it's like $800.
Got leaky faucets, man.
Damn, this is not good. I didn't think we watered the yard that much.
Using mineral water.
Honey, did you build a pool? No. So if that's a problem, you probably have a massive line leak. And Cole Plumbing understands time is of the essence. They'll get out there, fix it, and they'll do it without having to dig up a huge hole in your yard or trench or tear out a bunch of drywall inside the house. They can fix that major leak with precision expertise. Same thing going for like a gas line leak. That's, again, another very dangerous, serious problem. You smelling gas, and you know what I'm talking about. Get your mind out of the gutter. If you're smelling gas, like, you should probably leave the premises.
What about the toilets, though, Joey?
Right. Well, and no, if you got a toilet that won't stop running, you got a faucet that won't stop dripping, you got a garbage disposal that won't chew up anything, can't even chew up Jell-O, then yeah, they can help you replace and fix all that stuff. They can also help you upgrade to like a tankless water heater system.
Mm-hmm.
They can do it all there at Cole Plumbing when it comes to your plumbing needs. So y'all check them out today. You can always make an appointment, learn more about them at coleplumbing.com, or just go ahead and save their number, 279-8919. That's 279-8919. And just remember, folks, when you have trouble with your bowl,
call on Cole.
Let's go to line 1. You're on there. Who's this?
Yeah, this is Billy Joe Armstrong. I'm awake.
Sounds like it.
How you doing, East?
Man, I'm doing great. Good show, guys. We'll talk to you.
Appreciate it. I love some of our veteran callers. They know how to get it done. Thank you, East. Yeah, at one point, Hegseth does go on and like, I wouldn't qualify, and that is interesting. You see a lot of these like guys that go into media after being like Navy SEALs, and often they are rocking like the look I got, long hair, beard, whatever, and it's like, yeah, but if you're not doing like undercover stuff, I got a roommate who did naval intelligence. He'd grow a beard because he had to go out into Kabul into the population of Afghanistan, so you need to kind of blend in a little bit. Like, all that makes sense, but generally speaking, like this whole look of like the sloppy look, the Amish look.
I thought the standard was that you had to be clean shaven unless you were in theater.
Apparently they've been loosening, or maybe they didn't change the standard. And this has happened in many ways where they don't officially change the standard. They kind of, they don't enforce it, or they bend the rules a little bit. Well, you only got 65% accuracy or competency based on our standards. But, we really kind of were looking for, we like you in other ways. So come on in. You're right.
Hair length could be tabbed to confirm kills. You want long hair, go earn it.
There you go. Here's Hegseth talking about the beard and hair thing.
This also means grooming standards. No more beards, long hair, superficial individual expression. We're going to cut our hair, shave our beards, and adhere to standards. Because it's like the broken windows theory of policing. It's like when you let the small stuff go, the big stuff eventually goes. So you have to address the small stuff. This is on duty, in the field, and in the rear. If you want a beard, you can join special forces. If not, then shave. We don't have a military full of Nordic pagans. But unfortunately, we have had leaders who either refuse to call BS and enforce standards, or leaders who felt like they were not allowed to enforce standards. Both are unacceptable. And that's why today, at my direction, the era of unprofessional appearance is over. No more beardos. The era of rampant and ridiculous shaving profiles is done. Simply put, if you do not meet the male level physical standards for combat positions, cannot pass a PT test, or don't want to shave and look professional, it's time for a new position or a new profession.
I don't mind this at all. I like how matter of fact it is too. Especially the military. Like, when did the military become the place like, I just want to wear my dog mask all day? Well, I'm training people to use the drones and kill people with the sky robots. I just want to go, ooh, dog mask. Ooh.
Man, what about...
Why can't I bring in my weird bondage pup play stuff to the workplace?
Serious question. What are they going to do about some of the more technical guys in the military doing the drones and stuff that may not be up to standard? Those seem like very specific skill sets.
Yeah, and I'd imagine each of these, like, I'm sure they're test within test, if you know what I mean. Like,
well, there's the baseline for service.
Sure. And I think it's good to have that baseline. But there are, if you literally, your job is hand-eye coordination and stuff and not carrying 60 pounds on your back, yeah, you probably are going to have different standards for a particular job.
Yeah. I just know that, like you're saying, because there's been leadership derelict in their duties, there's probably some guys that haven't passed a test in a few years that are pretty integral in some drone operations. I hope they can get up to speed quickly.
Yeah, and at one point he goes, "Oh, by the way, men and women's dresses, we're done with that."
Better be a kilt, you Scotchman.
So this is how Trump began. Like Hegseth did that warm up. Well, first actually, the chairman of the Joint Chiefs, Raising Cane, General Kane, started things off with the whole, leaders of the military from around the world brought together at Quantico. But this is how Trump opened up. There was a short break after Hegseth, and the President of the United States came out. And by the way, I have to say, what a venue, very reminiscent of Patton. Yeah, that huge flag behind you is the backdrop. Let's listen in.
Great job you're doing, too. Fantastic job. I've never walked into a room so silent before. This is very... Don't laugh. Don't laugh. You're not allowed to do that. You know what? Just have a good time. And if you want to applaud, you applaud. And if you want to do anything you want, you can do anything you want. If you don't like what I'm saying, you can leave the room. Of course, there goes your rank. There goes your future. But you just feel nice and loose, okay? Because we're all on the same team. And I was told that, sir, you won't hear a murmur in the room. I said, we got to loosen these guys up a little bit. So you just have a good time. But I want to thank Secretary Hegseth and General Kane, General Raising Cane for a reason. They call him that. When I heard his name, I said, you're the guy I'm looking for.
And Trump, and this one, it wasn't quite as meandering. There were moments where he definitely did the weave, as he says it. But and sometimes lately the weave's been getting a little out of control. It's been going into like Moses old man territory of like, and did I tell you about the time when I, signed most favored nation status? But yeah, like the 100th time, Mr. President. Thank you.
Calling people by their own name. Really?
So here is Trump getting into a little more, I would say this is more poetic language, because it's sort of this sweeping, like, sprint through time. But, this is the sort of stuff that's pretty good.
From Sparta to Rome, to the British Empire, to the United States of America, history has shown that military supremacy has never been simply a matter of money or manpower. At the end of the day, it is the culture, spirit of our military that truly sets us apart from any other nation. Our ultimate strength will always come from the fierce people, and those brilliant people with such pride, and the unbending will and the traditions of excellence that have made us the most unstoppable force ever to walk the face of the earth. And that's what we are. From Sparta to Rome.
Well, and he drives home a good point, because if you start believing it's just the technology and it's just the money and you're making him now. Obviously, he goes on to talk about we have to stay ahead in submarines and everything. We have to stay ahead of the game.
You have to stay in accordance with God too, man. Go back to the old Revolutionary War. I mean, that was God.
Yes. Yeah. But his point about the culture and the leadership, what is the culture that you develop that develops this technology?
Mm-hmm.
What is the culture of the nation that develops all this economic power that you can then transform into a military power? And sort of resting on our laurels or getting used to the last war in particular, being in the sandbox for all those years, doing counterinsurgency. I think this is why they're doing like Shake the Tree. We're renaming the thing. Like, we're kind of tired of this general approach, especially the sort of globalist approach of we have to be everywhere all at once.
Am I making this up or misremembering? Whenever we went into Iraq and Kuwait in the early 90s, did we have those color uniforms? I want to remember that we only had green.
I think so. Yeah, I think it was more of just a matte, like green.
Yeah, I don't even think that we had.
I don't know.
Camo for,
No, I'm thinking back to an old, like the Victory Parade with Schwarzkopf and like all this stuff. Like, what were the uniforms?
Well,
but I mean, I was a child.
By the time it was over, we had them. But to begin with, I want to say I remember that being a thing.
Well, and here's Trump talking about a little bit of the shift of priorities. What is the Department of War actually for?
Together with the leaders here today, we're also restoring a needed focus on defeating threats in the Western Hemisphere. Throughout this region, cartel terrorists have been allowed to wage a relentless campaign of death and destruction on our country, all because we had weak leadership on top. And we did a great job with it first term, but this is something else what we're doing now. We're taking it to the next level, probably next level times 3. But we had COVID come up and we had to take care of that. We did a great job with COVID. We had the therapeutics.
Here comes the weave.
Regeneron, so many things we did for COVID, but we had to focus on that. And every other country in the world was being decimated by COVID. So we had to change gear a little bit to take care of that. But under our leadership, the military is now the knife's edge in combating this sinister enemy. Together.
Well, and I think that is only going to continue apace. The refocusing on the Western Hemisphere and focusing in particular on the Chinese. That will be the repurpose.
We say refocusing on the Western Hemisphere. I don't know if it's so much of a refocusing as no one's really tested us.
Oh, sure. But here's what I mean. I think this is what they mean, is that we've been kind of asleep at the wheel with the amount of people crossing the border. We've been a bit asleep at the wheel with how much China and Russia are playing in the Western Hemisphere, especially with nations hostile to the United States of America. And we're essentially saying, we're reminding them of like, no, the Monroe Doctrine still holds and we will enforce it.
Let's use Venezuela for just a second.
Sure.
Should it or make a case for using the military versus smaller CIA operations against the cartel to me?
I mean, the reason they're blowing boats out of the sky is not necessarily to like stop every boat, but interdiction, you've heard Rubio say this, interdiction doesn't work in the sense of you're not going to stop all the boats. And like, they're like, oh no, you caught me, senor. And like, I go to like jail or prison now, or I get deported back or something. And I'm with my buddies, like my colleagues. Like, so it like the cartel is sort of priced in a certain amount is going to be captured.
Yeah, about 20%
by authorities. The idea of no, we're not going to just stop you like with customs. We will blow you out of the sky and kill you.
But why not do that with the CIA instead of our military? Because are we?
I see what you're saying now.
Yeah.
No, I tend to prefer the military doing the killing. I don't like how the CIA has become this paramilitary thing that operates on its own.
So you're cool with our military?
I would rather be the United
civilians.
States. I'd rather be the United States Coast Guard than the CIA. Yeah.
All right. I can't argue with you on that.
Right. And no, and again, their point is we've labeled you a terrorist organization. In fact, we've labeled the head of your nation the head of that terror organization. We know y'all's war model is not traditional or conventional warfare. It's asymmetric.
So
and
why
it's,
should we fight one that way?
and it's about bringing all these things in to poison the population. So we're not treating this like normal crime anymore. We're treating it like y'all are engaging in hybrid war against the United States, and we will blow you out of the sky. Not necessarily that we'll hit every boat, but who wants to get on that boat now? Deterrence is the idea.
Maybe an all of the above approach.
And I'd imagine, yeah, I think you're right. I think you set up a little bit of a false dilemma or dichotomy there. I think there is a bit of all of the above
I just
going
mean
on.
from a PR aspect, I don't know if it's advantageous given where we are internationally, Middle East, Ukraine, Russia, trying to limit the number of wars, not escalate the number of wars, to have our military engaging with quote unquote non-military civilians. I know it's the cartel, but they're not flying Venezuelan flags as state actors.
Sure.
And that's my problem with it. So since they're citizens, why don't we, use some of our alphabet agencies to go down there? And,
yeah, but I mean, they could. This is like make it fully constitutional. Just you start signing letters of marque and reprisal.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do it.
Like y'all are literally wanted, dead or alive, by the United States government for your heinous actions. And
make it formal.
Right. I actually don't mind that. Make it formal. But it's clear. Like, this is not about, we're just trying to bring drugs and we make some money. No, this is more than y'all are just making money. This is clearly a hybrid war operation.
And they're bad actors on other states' behalf.
Yes.
I understand that. Yeah.
So, but the whole idea, it's not just taking on, say, the drug cartels. And it's not just about the drugs. Why do you think he did that whole thing at the beginning and is probably still pushing the stuff on Greenland? A lot of this is trying to, in the Golden Dome idea, a lot of this is trying to say, okay, in a new world with new technology, we should have a more defensive posture around the homeland that is the best in the world that can't be touched.
Mm-hmm.
And from that security, we can still project power, like what you saw with the 12-day war and the bombing the Iranian facilities. But it's not about, we're not jumping back into the sandbox. We're not looking to have a bunch of people stationed all over the place even. It's more protect our people, our homeland, and have the ability from that safe position to then project power. Soft power, it could be negotiating diplomacy like Trump's trying to do with all these peace deals. Or it could be, sometimes we will hit you very hard if you don't shut up. I don't know. I think the reorganizing has been way overdue. Like the Pentagon is no exception. In fact, it's one thing I was really disappointed when they put Doge on a leash. I thought we were going to, you found like one Booz Allen consulting contract? There's more in there. I know there's more in there. Come on, guys. Anyway, let's go to line one. You're on there. Who's this?
This is Papa B.
Hey, Papa B. How you doing?
I'm doing all right. You remember that picture of the stork that was swallowing the frog, and the frog had his hands clamped around the stork's neck so he wouldn't be swallowed? You remember seeing that?
I think so.
Picture?
Until the bitter end.
Never
I think
ever
was the
give up.
caption.
Is the name. Yeah. I'm telling you, the social justice left had just about swallowed the last frog, the military. But somehow or other, that institution was able to keep from getting totally swallowed whole. Biden just about had it done. I'm telling you, had we had one more term of a socialist type president, it'd have been all gone. It'd been all over. And Trump is bringing it back, and I hope, for goodness sake, they tie a knot in it so that it won't ever be able to, have social experimentation like it has had to endure, because this is not a experiment. The military is not a little playground to try to experiment with things.
Right.
It's got a specific task, and that task is protecting ourselves. So anyway, I'm glad to see it. And,
I thought it was refreshing listening to Hegseth this morning.
Very much so. I wanted to just say one other thing, where we're having this Russia-Ukraine war. Okay, among all of the other factors that you can look at, from the 30,000-foot view, there's one that draws my attention more than just about anything else.
Okay.
And that one is probably one of the biggest reasons why the case can't be solved, or hasn't been solved right away. And that is China. China cannot afford to let Trump have the victory. They can't afford to let him have that score of settling that war. And the reason is because if he can settle that one, and he can sweep the Russians back out of Ukraine, then there's only one other thing that needs to happen, and that is the China-Taiwan conflict. And there is no place for Xi Jinping to go except back home.
Yeah,
and that would happen.
Yeah, and I think a general focus on the Far East, throw in North Korea as part of this larger issue there in that part of the world. I think you're right. I'm also very worried. I predicted, weird how we both started thinking about China in this context this morning, Papa B. But I remembered in the first days after this war predicting, not knowing, but just guessing, that China would be the one to come in to actually broker the peace. And I'm worried that's what the Russians are kind of waiting on. Let the Chinese come in and be the third party.
Into the Russia-Ukraine?
Yeah. Let the Chinese be the mediators.
Interesting concept.
Right. And it might essentially, or it could be more a multilateral thing, but we're not going to your point, we're not going to let the United States actually broker this thing And the way Trump wanted to in particular, we're going to have our day in the sun and keep Russia close.
That would be one way for China to kind of save face. But no doubt, though, once that is done, or at least perceived to have been finished, then there is only one focus left, and that is China's trying to recapture Taiwan.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I have no idea what's going to happen, but the fact of the matter is, Taiwan is representative of the free peoples of China, what's left of it. Anyway. There are such behind the line, so to speak, in the communist area of China as a whole, but they have been totally whipped and totally subordinated. So Taiwan is the last refuge of anything left of a free China. So I'm wondering what's really going to happen there. But if China can be pushed back one more time, that might just be the end of the Xi Jinping kind of legacy. They're in trouble.
Well, and they have a population bomb coming with a depopulation. They only have a short window to be able to flex, even just in their own backyard in that way. So, and we're getting to that perilous window. Hopefully it can be settled without a massive war breaking out. So. Well, and by the way, you bringing this up, have you heard of a comedian named James McCann? He's Australian.
That name sounds familiar.
He's newer. He's been on a lot of Kill Tony episodes. He just came out with a new stand. He produces so much content, about a 20-30 minute special called Black Israelite. It's freaking hilarious. In that one, he starts off by saying, y'all have this abbreviation for "This is America." You just go, America. This is America, but this is America. But they love saying that. They say it in England. This is England, but they kind of say it now in England, like, "Is this England?" If you look at England, is this England? We're kind of sad about it. And then this is China. This is China. China loves saying this is China, but they love saying it in places that aren't China, like Tibet, in the sea.
Yeah,
he's right.
That is funny. Yeah, I mean, Xi Jinping is in big time trouble. They, remember the Sun Tzu. One of the things is when small appear large, and that whole parade thing that they had. They're not nearly as large as they were trying to appear,
right?
And all of that. That just real quick, Joey. I have to say that one thing when he was coming down the boulevard, sticking his head up through the roof. Mm-hmm. With those microphones, what a funny thing! Why he got microphones sticking up out of the car or whatever? But that is such a total show.
Of course.
I mean that. Yeah, that was, to me, that was hilarious. But anyway, all right, guys. Well, listen. Thanks a lot.
Appreciate you, Papa B.
Joey, am I misremembering that? Didn't someone basically allude or say that China had been propping up Russia fighting Ukraine for like the past 2 years, and that Russia wanted to at one point stop, and China wouldn't let them?
No, I don't think that was necessary. I don't think China stopped Russia from stopping. It was more like China's saying we can't let the U.S. make some huge deal. So Russia, I think, on their own interest, doesn't want to stop. But I think Papa B's right that China and a few other players would rather not let the United States settle this. They would rather continue to drive their hand.
Maybe I shouldn't have said China provoked it that way. I think it was more Russia was growing weary at some point, and China said, "What do you need to continue?"
Yes. That's very clearly happened. It's, I think, a year in, like the amount of material and the Russian energy economy didn't. The Russian economy didn't crater because they did start selling a lot into China and getting a lot from China,
and having us diverted 100% away from them. And that's the main bad actors.
That's the main bulwark of that sort of axis at the moment. At least they're the factory. They projecting military power, different question, but they are definitely the factory.
The sweatshop, if you will.
Yeah. Anyway, we got to hit this break. First, this part of the program brought to you by Josh and Leslie Ryder there at Dillon Rings. And today is the last day. What was that? Did you say sapphire? Today is the last sale for sapphires there at Dillon Rings. The final day of their secret sapphire sale. If you've been waiting for the perfect time to add a little brilliance to your collection, this is it. Last chance. From deep midnight blues to sparkling cornflower shades or sapphires are ready to shine at prices that disappear after today. Stop by before the sale ends tonight. You don't want to miss this secret. That's the message I believe Josh put out on the Dillon Rings Facebook page. He's right. Today is your last chance to get this special secret sapphire sale. I think it's like 30% off. Folks, get by there. And of course, they're a full service jewelry shop there at Dillon Rings. Can handle all your jewelry needs. We'll tell you a little more about them a little later in the program. We'll be right back.
He may not know whether he's coming or going, but whether you're going to work or coming home, Greg Budell is there. Mornings, 6 till 9, and afternoons, 3 till 6. Only on News Talk 93.1 FM, WACV.
Want that ride that is fun, affordable, and street legal? Check out ETG Outdoors in Montgomery. They have huge discounts on electric golf carts with many brand new units under 10 grand. New and used inventory, financing available, and they service what they sell. ETG Outdoors even provides lithium battery conversions and free delivery with purchase. Whether it's for the neighborhood, the farm, or just fun, ETG Outdoors, 7006 Vaughn Road, or online at etgoutdoors.com. Cruise smarter, drive electric. ETG Outdoors, your ride to freedom starts here.
Hi, this is Bo Goodson from the Goodson Group with your Real Estate Minute. What is a smart way to buy a house in today's market? Now is a good time to buy since we now have a more balanced market than we've had in years. Here are the steps. First step, get pre-qualified with an experienced local lender. It costs you nothing to find out firsthand whether you can qualify for a home and how much that home loan will cost. Second step, hire a local realtor with lots of experience that can guide you, advise you, and be your advocate. We call those buyer agents. Third step, decide what your wants and needs have to be. Bedrooms, baths, floor plan, location, and school zones. Fourth, ask your realtor to line up homes that fit your price category and your location needs. Fifth, start actually looking inside these homes and see what is available and the cost of each property. For all of this information and step-by-step approach, call Bo Goodson from the Goodson Group at 221-2883 or 551-0225.
Are you tired of the mainstream media's biased reporting? Do you want to stay informed on the news that really matters to you? Look no further than 1819 News. At 1819 News, we bring you the latest in Alabama news, politics, sports, culture, and more. We've assembled a team of journalists with Alabama values dedicated to the truth and the truth alone. Visit us at 1819news.com today. That's 1819news.com. Subscribe to our newsletter. Honest News, Alabama Values. This hour of news and views is brought to you by our good friends at Alabama Home Mortgage. Alabama Home Mortgage, 567-4223. Visit them on the web at myalabamahomemortgage.com. NMLS number 1586368. An equal housing lender.
This is David Ernest from the Health and Wealth Show. We like to cut up and have fun, maybe poke a little fun at some politicians, but we don't take ourselves too seriously. One thing we do take seriously is your personal finances and your plans for retirement. You can tell by listening, we're a little different. Yeah, we like to have a good time on the radio, but we're dead serious about your financial future and helping you achieve your goals. At Ernest Financial, we're committed to giving you the attention you need. We don't treat you like a number. You're way more important to us. At Ernest Financial, it's about helping you today and preparing you for tomorrow. People call us who are on the verge of retirement, and they know they need a plan for the future. No matter where you are in life, Ernest Financial will help guide your every step towards retirement. Give us a call and let us show you what our individual customer attention can do for your future.
Concerned about your retirement? Call David Ernest toll-free at 833-596-7233. That's 833-596-SAFE. The Rich Thomas Weather Network, brought to you by Montgomery Paint and Body. From little fender benders to total body repair, MPB will fix it good as new, maybe better. For 4 decades, the Turner family has been getting you back on the road. Call 279-7325.
Rich Thomas Weather.
Well, hi, everybody. On this last day of September, it's mainly a dry forecast. Expect a sun and cloud mix today with a high temperature up to about 87. Rain chances are not zero, but we'll say 20% or less, mainly in the afternoon and evening hours. Low tonight down to about 64. Tomorrow, Thursday and Friday, mostly sunny, dry. Upper 80s on Wednesday, 84 Thursday, 83 Friday, and the nights will be a little cooler. We'll be near 60, I think, by Friday morning, and dry through Saturday. From the Blue Water Weather Center, this is Rich Thomas.
We get Montgomery talking 24 hours a day. The River Region's most trusted voice. News Talk 93.1 FM WACV.
Joey Clark.
Welcome back. Real quick, this happened also during Trump's speech. I think he actually have a compliment to Barack Obama.
You walk nice and easy. You don't have to set any record. Be cool. Be cool when you walk.
I think he's talking about coming up and down the steps of Air Force One.
Walk down, but don't pop down the stairs. So one thing with Obama, I had zero respect for him as a president, but he would bop down those stairs. I've never said da-da-da-da-da-da, pop, pop, pop. He'd go down the stairs, wouldn't hold on. I said, it's great. I don't want to do it. I guess I could do it, but eventually bad things are going to happen. And it only takes once. But he did a lousy job as president.
I want to meme with Trump just going, ba-da-ba-ba-da-ba.
Yeah, can we hear that just again?
Be cool when you walk down, but don't pop down the stairs.
Don't bop down.
So one
the
thing
stairs.
with Obama, I had zero respect for him as a president, but he would bop down those stairs. I've never said da-da-da-da-da-da. He'd go down the stairs, wouldn't hold on. I said, it's great.
Goodness gracious. Seriously, his give a damn is the weave is getting pretty wide, sir.
I just love the thing that actually like gets on his radar. You know, he's watching Obama. He's like, Obama.
Oh, he is a creature so aware. Trump is of like what's in media, and he's quite aware. If he ever slipped and fell, it would be a huge news story. He knows that, especially the amount that they made fun of Biden. So, like, yeah, it would be rightfully poured on his head.
Well,
too.
you said he said something nice about Obama. I thought it was going to be, he was president whenever we got Obama or Bin Laden. I thought that was going to be the compliment.
No,
not the way he struts down the.
Let's go to Duke. Hey, Duke. Hey, darn.
How are you?
Good.
What's up, Duke?
All right, man. What's going on, Brian?
Nothing but Mercury, man.
Now, Joe, I know I'm not as smart as you are, and I never will be smart as you are, because you were one of the smarter cats on the radio. You know, I need that, brother, man.
What do you want?
Back to the military thing. Didn't they lower the standards because of the numbers? You know, because we don't have a draft like most countries have a draft or something like that.
I think that was one of the excuses, but
yeah, right.
I don't
just
buy
like
it.
the police department, you know, they have to set up some stuff to get the numbers up.
Right.
Okay, so you think that will affect the number of people joining if they, you know, kick a lot of folks out and trying to get the numbers back up?
No, I think you're going to have the opposite effect. And actually, the president announced in his speech, and Hegseth was talking about it a little bit too, the Marine Corps, for the first time, I think, in their history, has already met their target for recruitment for next year.
Oh.
That might
have
something
like
to do
the
with
recruiting
standards,
numbers have
standards.
been crazy across all services within the armed forces. And I think, this is the point. It's like, it's his point about the broken windows thing, like shave your stupid beard, cut your stupid long hair. It's more like, hey, it's a buy-in. You're not just joining for a job. You're not just joining to make a paycheck or get the retirement. You're joining to join one of the highest and most important institutions in the nation, and you got to buy in.
Mhm.
And I think when you do that, especially the young men that you're targeting for recruitment, it's a lot better than no, we all kind of get along. You don't have to, we'll lower the standards a little bit to get you in, young man. No, when you raise the standard and say you couldn't be this thing, that's what actually attracts young men willing to fight, if not die, for their country.
Our society tells us to go to college first.
Yeah.
Overall. Right?
Yeah, that's what they've been saying for the few decades. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. That's for many, many years, So I don't know, because I've been told now that's one of the reasons why a lot of the police departments have to step people with beards or whatever, because they need the numbers up. Okay, so that's when I kind of combining the two, so to speak.
Well, there has been, there's been a shift in culture and society in general, no doubt, with tattoos, with facial hair. Like the way I look, I'm not joining the military anytime soon. But I think a lot of that, especially in regards to the military, is excuse making. I think the reason they didn't have recruitment numbers high is a lot of people didn't really believe in the cause and the institutions. So
they believe in it now, all of a sudden.
I think there are a lot of people are, but just we're all recruiting numbers. Yeah.
Everyone is asking a question. Hell, I don't know. So that's what I've been told over the years, that they wanted to get the numbers up.
Yeah.
You know what I get tired of, though? From a black man perspective, that only way we get a job is, damn it, got to be through DEI and all that old crap, man.
That's the argument to get rid of DEI. You just made the argument.
No. What I'm saying now, I've been in a position in my life, when it came to a job. Okay, I qualified all these individuals. Okay.
Sure.
But I got the job because of my expertise. Okay.
Right.
So there's a lot of black qualified people
I
out
agree.
there that they put in that spot because they're black. But a lot of people want to say the only reason they got in that job over the white guy because he didn't qualify. He wasn't quite as smart. Bull crap.
Then why even introduce the program?
Well, you know why I had to introduce the program. I don't need to go back over my history when a white guy was chosen over me at one point of a time over a job, and I qualified over him. Hell, I trained him.
So why would you want to have the law force that racist guy who denied you an opportunity? Why would you want to work for a guy like that?
Need my money. I need that. Like Alabama Power, don't care who he is or how racist he is. I need to pay my bills. So you have to,
So when that, and I agree, racial discrimination happened to you, did you find a different job?
Oh, I stuck it out because that's what I wanted to do. Okay?
There you go.
And I eventually left that particular company. Okay, but me and the boss had a conversation about the way he's tried to, try to crap on me. They always been the kind of person who speak up. I don't sit there and bow my head and not go talk to the man. I'm going to talk to the man about this situation right here. So that's why I was on that. But I get tired of hearing people say the only reason we get these positions because the damn government gave us their position just because we're black. Nope. Hell, we plenty qualified people. The people that I know now that gotten positions like that over the years. But back to our military thing.
Yeah, and the point is you should just look at the qualifications of the person.
Yes, if you got two white guys over there and two black guys and for many years, how they still do it, But let's give people the opportunity.
Mm-hmm.
If he scored high on the test over the white guy, and he just happen to be in a situation where they need this particular black guy, let him have the job. Get the numbers up, because racism still exists, people, whether you like it or not. People come on here behind me about, I went to the Klan thing downtown. White supremacy still out there, folks, and all these hate groups out there. Okay, so hell, they're not going anywhere. So let's understand that right there now. But
the Klan is still in its like the Klan's still a powerful institution.
I was speaking of, I said white supremacy, but what I'm saying, all these groups are still out there, Joey. They don't have to come out in the streets anymore. Okay, but what I'm saying, let's not be stupid and think other people are stupid, not thinking it still exists. But to my military, I want to get back to that right quick.
But the DEI conversation we're having can apply to like men and women too. So it's like what Hegseth just announced is like the standard's the standard.
Right, like Charlie made a comment, on one of his things that I heard him saying about the women smart, say taking the job from the white guys. Yeah, Michelle Obama pretty intelligent and smart to me, I think.
No, I believe Charlie's point is by introducing the DEI and affirmative action systems, you're essentially admitting that. If you just stand on your own merits, your own ability, which y'all got plenty of it, we got no issue. What we don't like is when Joe Biden says, I'm going to pick a vice president or I'm going to pick a Supreme Court justice. And what are the qualifications? Well, the first main thing that will drive me is it has to be a black woman.
Trump did the same thing. He said he's going to pick a woman for
I don't like that.
Court. Woman,
and I don't like that.
Right. I understand that. But throughout the history, Joey, from my 63 years on this earth, I observed all these kind of things, okay? Because I went out there looking for it, it was right in my face over the years. So I've seen all this happening, okay? So but go back to the voting right, okay? The federal government had to step in and give us these rights, okay? So white man wasn't going to volunteer to do anything for us. I don't want his own if he had that old hate in him. Let me give you a prime example. One of my homeboys, these guys used to do bulldozer work, okay? They went to Forsyth, Georgia, somewhere to do a job. The white guy who owned the land, he said, he's not going to do my place. He's not going to do work for me. He told the white dude, owner of the company, that black guy on that bulldozer not going to do his land for him. So the guy had to let a white guy do the work. So it's a lot of stuff going on. And went on and still going on behind the scenes.
The thing you just brought up, when did that happen?
Oh, this happened around in the 80s. 80s. But it'll go on right now because I saw a video where a white guy said that we don't need nothing from black folks.
But the thing you described was 40 years ago.
People think, well, actually, yes, it's 40 years ago, but what I'm saying, some of those kind of things still goes on because you got these people that got those same kind of feelings and that's what they believe in. Okay, you got places in the world, in the United States, where there's no black people that live in these areas anyhow. So
and do you think it's just one way, or do you think that, for instance, somebody who's black is not going to hire somebody who's white because they're white?
You may have a little bit of that, because that's a place I used to work. The guy,
No, I think you actually have a lot of that, and half the time it's not even that conscious.
Right. But my point is, I guess overall, for somebody gonna come in, no, we in the real world. Hell, stuff still so goes on, but everybody got neckties on nowadays. They try to hide who they are.
Mm-hmm.
But anyhow, I hope the military does well on this new overhaul or whatever. But when it comes down to it, send your sons and daughters to the war also instead of hiding behind phone spurs and all that stuff.
Mm-hmm. Okay, well, appreciate it, Duke, as always. This part of the program brought to you by Alabama Home Mortgage. And there at Alabama Home Mortgage, Kim Williams and Madeline Cannon are ready to help you, whether you're looking to buy a place or refinance your current home. A lot of people have been on the bubble. They've been waiting, watching. When will rates come down? Well, the process is starting. And it might not be the exact right month or day or week, whatever, for you to pull the trigger on refinancing a place or buying a place right at this moment. But it's probably getting closer to that moment, to that day, to that week, to that month. So why not get the process started? All starts with a conversation with Kim and Madeline there at Alabama Home Mortgage. Starts with pre-approval. If you're looking to buy a place, they'll walk with you with pre-approval all the way to closing day. Or If you're looking to refinance, maybe to get overhead cost lower, especially if you're close to or already in retirement, maybe you're looking to reinvest in your property, your home, your family, whatever your goals, they can help you there at Alabama Home Mortgage. So call them up today. Get that conversation started at 567-4223. That's 567-4223. Or you can always apply online at myalabamahomemortgage.com. There is a difference in mortgage companies like Kim and Madeline. Prove that to you today. NMLS number 1586368, an equal housing lender.
Want to carry News Talk in your pocket? Download the News Talk 93.1 app from the App Store. Available on iPhone and Android. Never miss a moment. Download now.
Looking for insurance, or maybe you're just not satisfied with your current carrier? How does quality coverage with local service and competitive rates sound to you? The folks at Stark Agency offer just that. Whether you need insurance for your business, car, home, or life, Stark Agency can help. As an independent insurance agency with over 20 of the top insurance carriers, Stark is sure to find the perfect match for you and your loved ones. Visit their site at starkagency.com or give them a call at 334-263-5535 for a quote today.
Do you have real estate problems? Whether you're facing foreclosure, inherited a property, or have costly repairs, we understand. At Rapid Fire Homebuyers, we're here to help. Any condition, any situation, we'll give you an honest cash offer for your home so you can move forward. Because when real estate problems cause you uncertainty, you deserve a solution you can trust. Any condition, any situation, we're here to help. Give Rapid Fire Homebuyers a call today at 334-675-1000. That's 334-675.
Broadcasting from the Riverside Chevrolet Master Control Center, this is WACV Cusada, News Talk 93.1 FM. When it's Chevy, it's Riverside.
With SRN News, I'm John Scott. Barring an 11th hour Senate agreement, the U.S. government poised for a partial shutdown. The deadline is midnight tonight. President Trump and War Secretary Pete Hegseth spoke before a gathering of hundreds of top U.S. military officials who were summoned to Virginia from around the world. The president and Hegseth both declared an end to woke culture in the military. Drug maker Pfizer has agreed to lower drug costs under a deal struck by President Trump's administration. The outer bands of Hurricane Umberto lash Bermuda as it approached the tiny British territory, with newly formed Hurricane Imelda following close behind. A hurricane watch was in effect for the island located in the North Atlantic. On Wall Street, stocks are now mixed. The Dow is down 52 points. The S&P is ahead 2. This is SRN News.
Hi, everyone. Super Bowl champ Vernon Davis here from Legal Help Center. If you've been injured in an accident and think you deserve compensation, listen up, because we have legal professionals standing by right now to answer your questions for free. You can find out if you have a case and how much it's potentially worth. The call is free. The consultation is free. And you can speak with a live agent right now. So if you or someone you know were injured in an accident of any kind, call now to find out if you have a case and how much you could potentially get.
Thanks, Vernon. You heard it, folks. If you've been injured, call and find out how much you qualify for. Call 800-504-8790. That's 800-504-8790. 800-504-8790. Advertisement sponsored by Legal Help Center. May not be available in all states.
Rich Thomas Weather is brought to you by Alabama Wholesale Lumber. For tough, good-looking roofs, it's Tamco Shingles from Alabama Wholesale Lumber. For great folks and great prices, call Alabama Wholesale Lumber.
Rich Thomas Weather.
Well, hi, everybody. On this last day of September, it's mainly a dry forecast. Expect a sun and cloud mix today with a high temperature up to about 87. Rain chances are not zero, but we'll say 20% or less, mainly in the afternoon and evening hours. Low tonight down to about 64. Tomorrow, Thursday and Friday, mostly sunny, dry. Upper 80s on Wednesday, 84 Thursday, 83 Friday, and the nights will be a little cooler. We'll be near 60, I think, by Friday morning, and dry through Saturday. From the Blue Water Weather Center, this is Rich Thomas.
Whether you're buying a home or auto or consolidating debt, CB&S Bank's personal loans get you where you need to go. Go to cbsbank.com to find a location near you or apply online today. All loans subject to credit approval, member FDIC, and equal housing lender.
1819 News.
There are two conflicting reports coming out from the Department of Homeland Security and a detainee who was arrested here in Alabama. Giovanna Hernandez Martinez was found to be illegally in the U.S. after a traffic stop was conducted in the town of Leeds just a few months ago. Martinez was then taken into DHS custody and has recently self-deported back to Mexico. Martinez and her family are now saying that the self-deportation was due to the lack of medical care at the DHS facility in Louisiana. DHS officials say that any reports of inhumane condition at that facility are false. They say that detainees are provided with meals, comprehensive medical treatment, and access to lawyers and family members. DHS also pushed back at state and national media outlets like AL.com and Reuters for presenting the Martinez arrest in a negative light when it comes to law enforcement, calling those stories pathetic and saying the facts are that Martinez was breaking several traffic laws. The Martinez family is using the whole arrest situation to raise money through a fundraiser account. I'll be back with more Alabama stories after this.
I'm Amy Beth Schaefer with Alabama Unfiltered Radio, and when I need the news and I need it fast, I turn to Andrea Tice and the Daily Detail. On my way in, it is the most convenient, best way for me to digest what's going on so that I can use it for our show. She tells you what's going on in Alabama that day first and fast. So listen to the Daily Detail with Andrea Tice. Don't miss out.
The Daily Detail is available wherever podcasts are found.
A drive-by shooting occurred in Selma at an apartment complex this past Monday night, killing one person and injuring three others. The shooting fatality has been identified as 59-year-old Edwina Russell. No arrests have been made at this point in time. Crime Stoppers is now offering a cash reward for any tips that lead to an arrest. I'm Andrea Tice.
For more news affecting Alabamians, go to 1819news.com. And while you're there, subscribe to the daily newsletter.
This hour of News and Views is brought to you by our good friends at Cole Plumbing, 279-8919. Cole Plumbing is number one in the number two business. You don't have to dig a hole. They have proprietary pipelining technology. Ask them about their tankless water heaters. Remember, when you have trouble with your bowl, call on Cole.
Hi, I'm Jennifer Pestruccelli, General Sales Manager and co-owner of Blue Water Broadcasting. Even in the digital age, radio remains the most powerful reach medium for connecting with audiences. Its ability to engage listeners, reach a wide and diverse audience, and create real emotional connections sets it apart from other forms of media. Radio's adaptability and easy access ensure its continued relevance now and in the future. Want to learn how radio can work for your business? Visit bluewaterbroadcasting.com. Blue Water Broadcasting, local folks helping local business.
Can you hear the squeals and smell the corn dogs and funnel cakes? The 11 best days of fall are almost here. The Alabama National Fair. News Talk 93.1 WACV has your fair tickets. Listen for your chance to win a family 4-pack of tickets to the Alabama National Fair, coming to the Garrett Coliseum October 3rd through the 13th. It's the 11 best days of fall. The Alabama National Fair. From News Talk 93.1 FM WACV.
Hi, it's Jonathan Cotton with the Good Feet Store. And have you tried the over-the-counter products for your foot pain and nothing seems to work? If that's you, it's time to check out the Good Feet Store. Stop the pain that's stopping you. Visit goodfeet.com to book your appointment today, or just stop by the store nearest you.
Big news! Phillips Dunn Animal Hospital has a new name. But don't worry, everything you love is still the same. Now they're Pike Road Animal Hospital, still at 5148 Troy Highway. Still the same great team you've trusted for years. Same friendly faces, same expert care, just a new name, and still offering boarding, grooming, and doggy daycare. Pike Road Animal Hospital, formerly Phillips Dunn Animal Hospital. New name, same heart. Compassion you know, care that you trust.
The views and opinions of the following program are solely those of the host and other contributors. These do not necessarily represent those of Liberty Acquisitions 825, Blue Water Broadcasting, its management, staff, or any advertisers. It's time for Montgomery's conversational radio show. It's News and Views on News Talk 93.1 FM. To join the conversation, call 272-9228.
Joey Clark.
Welcome back. I'm your host, Joey Clark. Byron Sheehy here in the studio with me. What's that peanut on your hat?
This is the alternate to the Montgomery Biscuits, the Peanut Runners.
The Peanut Runners?
Mm-hmm. Tribute to the Negro League team.
Oh, nice. Yeah. Very cool. I'd just never seen that hat.
Mr. Washington Carver Peanuts.
Okay. Yeah. Very good. Let's go to, I think this is like Senator Ledlow, somebody like that. Senator.
Yes, this is the senator. You know, I'm over there on Scott's show sometimes.
Yes.
I gathered up the legislators and the senators and had them come over here so I could tell them what happened, the synopsis of the top brass being talked to there at Quantico. And can I relay what I told them? Is that all right with you, Joey?
I would love to hear your synopsis. Yes.
Okay, here it is. Glory, glory, hallelujah. Hegseth took out a big ruler. Said, I don't care what Biden allowed before. There'll be no men in dresses at the Department of War, and your extra weight is a coming off. Glory, glory, hallelujah. Every day PT will be drilled through you. Leave your long handbids at the door. We don't allow them at the Department of War. Only the word there will be marching on. Thank you for letting me give you that rendition of what I told the legislators today.
Good pipes, Ledlow.
Is that on Spotify?
Thank you, sir. All right.
Got some talented callers, man.
We really do. Just so many talented people. Anyway, I don't know why I said it that way, but all this talk of changing standards in the military and whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, when you think about like a big announcement from the Department of War, who do you run to for reaction? Sonny Houston of The View. Or is it Houston?
I don't know.
Oh, no. This dumb, stupid woman.
5 winches.
Just stupid broad. It's why you have the job. You're a stupid woman. So you can appeal to all the other stupid broads out there. As well as the queens that really need to get out of the house. Anyway.
Joy and some of that crew.
Yeah, but they're going to react to Hegseth's big speech this morning.
I'm actually really befuddled by why he did that. The optics were terrible, meaning all of our top military brass are all in one place, and we spent $6 million to get them there. That didn't make a lot of sense to me. It also didn't make a lot of sense to me that he was saying that he was going to toughen physical standards and review the anti-hazing policy by sort of implementing a hazing policy. And then also he said he was going to return to the highest male standard for combat positions because the troops were fat. I don't understand how,
because you're a stupid broad, but keep going.
How that was supposed to be an uplifting message for our military.
Maybe he's referring to Colonel Sanders.
It was really a bizarre thing. He started talking about woke DEI policies. By the way, there are no gender quotas in the military. By the way, he fired more than a dozen military leaders, many of them people of color and women. He fired the chairman of the Joint Chief of Staff, General Charles Brown Jr., who is African-American. Yeah. He fired the first woman to command the Navy, Admiral Lisa Franchetti. I don't understand the sort of hypocrisy of firing these people, having all these people meet together and then denigrating them.
But did you look at it? They're looking at him like he has two heads. Well,
It's like, how does that show still exist? ABC fired the wrong person and then brought him back. And
well, their audience is actually awake during this time.
No, and it's just like, I don't get it. I don't get it at all. Maybe it's because you're dumb broads. Maybe it's because you're a bunch of fat, stupid broads.
F, not PH.
Yeah. Fat, stupid, over-medicated, drunk harpies. They're paid to squawk nonsense and speak talking points. I don't understand why but the male, why would he say that? That's not a very uplifting message. Have you ever thought that, in particular, the young men you're trying to recruit don't want your motherly message of comfort and love? They would actually like a rough and tumble standard to live up to? You ever thought that? We don't want the world to be a womb for us to crawl up inside like we're a fetus again. We want challenge. We want somebody who is a figurehead of authority to say, you could be better, young man, and you could do it this way. We'll give you the opportunity. And anybody who's raised a daughter knows you do the same thing. You maybe don't talk to her in the same way, but you do the same thing. But with young men in particular, it's not nice. Oh, it's okay. You didn't mean it. No, you're fat. Stop eating so much. Work out like you're running a military. And that, in just a nutshell, in a little microcosm there, is exactly the problem. Well, and he fired this guy that was black, and he fired this person who was a woman and all this stuff. Who cares? Be up to the standard. Stop introducing anything else that has nothing to do with the lethality of the military. And whether it's in a military setting or in a church setting or in so many other settings, there are a lot of young men that are tired of being like they don't have a penis. And that actually it's a bad thing. And they should probably just cut it off and be, a woman or something. Life would be so wonderful. It would be so happy. Yeah, right. Harpies. Stupid, dumb broads.
Least common denominator, man.
Seriously.
They're talking to a very specific audience.
Yeah, they are a bunch of other dumb broads.
Low information voters.
Yeah. But, just that's the counter messaging that you're hearing from the speech this morning. They've already got their counter messaging.
And there'll be a chorus amongst the, mainstream media.
Well, why can't we have more uplifting message? Like, I'm stealing this from Tom Segura. If I looked at you, I said, Byron, you're beautiful at any size.
Joey, stop.
Yeah, you'd probably be like, I'm telling a joke. Or you'd be like, what the hell is wrong with you?
Mm-hmm.
If I was serious, you'd be like, what the hell's wrong with you? Stop talking to me that way.
Yeah, you got those standards.
Yeah, come on. No, guys are like, what's up, fat ass?
Are you going to do something about that?
Right. Even when you're not that fat, we insult each other. Like, you don't understand anything about us. Anyway, one of the greatest things that Charlie Kirk put his finger on, the pulse of this country, is what young men in particular are feeling. And there are a lot of dark corners that young men have run to. False prophets, let's say, that led them down some very dark alleys indeed. And it wasn't Charlie who was doing that. It was Charlie Kirk who was pulling people away from those dark alleys. That you can be better than what you are. And you can create something beautiful, and you can have people that rely on you and people that will love you.
And he didn't talk at people. He had conversations with them.
No, and you see it, like it was the same thing. I think Jordan Peterson gave a very similar message. And at the same time, he's attacked for the fascist, all this other stuff. Because he was actually telling young men, maybe those scriptures that you ignored, his most popular lectures are the ones on like the book of Genesis, maybe those scriptures you ignored actually have some wisdom in there, young man. I know you read your Daniel Dennett and your Richard Dawkins and your Christopher Hitchens, and you meditated with Sam Harris, who's also a dumb broad, strangely, even though he does have a penis, according to reports. But I know you've read all your witty, pithy atheist, and you've heard all the debates and stuff, but maybe if we put aside the debate setting and actually looked at what these holy books that have been held up as holy by generations of your forefathers, maybe we should revisit those. And maybe out of that, you might have an answer that comes to you that answers that crisis of meaning you're feeling. So you don't try to fill it up with drugs. You don't try to fill it up with sex. Hell, you don't even try to fill it up with the proxy of sex, porn, and all this other crap that comes on. Oh, and look, it's a football Saturday. Time to get drunk and turn off my head. It's all right that people enjoy life. But just think of like a tailgate Saturday there at Auburn, or you can Tuscaloosa if you like. But how many folks out there are like truly happy? There are a bunch. I'm going to answer that immediately. There are a bunch of folks truly happy. They're having a great time. They love a football Saturday, not just for the football, but it's a culture thing. It's
you think they're truly happy?
Well, and this is what I'm about to get to, though. But how many folks, especially the ones that got the money for the great setup and the nice parking spot and all, and the season tickets and all this stuff, you got to wonder, how are they truly happy, or are they just anesthetizing themselves in a fun way? Getting football and good food and drink and stuff. Be merry. But you got to wonder, even in the times when we're supposed to be merry, how merry are we? How happy are we actually?
And what's the root of our joy?
Yes. And I think the people that are the happiest are the ones that understand, I don't do this eat and drink merry thing all the live long day. Every day ain't a party. Often most days are work. Most days are, I don't want to get up, but I do it anyway. Most days are like, man, the same people and the same thing all over again. But if you actually get back to first things, then you can go to those celebrations and you can actually celebrate and be happy. But the message being given to people like a Jordan Peterson or a Charlie Kirk, and hopefully there are others that are coming, is you can be more than what you are. But we need a more uplifting message. It's nicer. Well, you're not going to reach them then. Because at the same time, you're saying we need to uplift them. What you're doing is like, you're saying, do less.
Dude, we've been telling people what they want to hear for our lifetimes.
Yes.
Instead of,
because we're rich. We won.
Instead of us being told what we needed to hear, we were told what they wanted us to hear, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Been a spoiled nation.
Yep. And it's interesting. I don't think the change is stopping. There was one report that came out today. There's been a 15% increase in just the last few weeks to church attendance. This coming on the heels of already massive increases. And I'll fully admit, I didn't go back to church. But I'm spending most of my days truly revisiting and studying.
I've gotten better about that myself.
Truly revisiting and studying those sacred texts that, yes, forefathers for generations regarded as sacred. Maybe take it seriously.
Can I share one that's burned into my mind right now? And it's just the perfect verse for where we are society-wise.
Sure.
Romans 1:22. Professing to be wise, we became fools.
Well said. And why was Socrates the wisest man?
Didn't think he was.
No, he's wise because he knew he was a fool. Yeah, there's a great tradition to inherit. There's a lot of also, sin and mayhem and war and rumors of wars and nations rising up against nation. All sorts of mayhem has happened in the last, say, 2,000 years. But there's also a lot of true, good, and beautiful things that are ready for you to be inherited. But that's the thing. It's not like, oh, I just got a big chunk of change. What you've been given as an inheritance is an old house and an old building and a lot of property and all this other stuff, but you got to maintain it. You got to understand why it was built in the first place and how it works. What does it cost? Not just in money, but in many ways. What does it cost to actually inherit that legacy?
I agree with that 100%. I think that our biggest problem is we equate price equals value. We don't understand how to truly value what's important. And we're learning the hard way.
Right.
But at least we're learning.
And I don't know. I went off because it's like, that's who people are listening to get their insight.
All the time, man. I mean,
and I'm sure we could find some dumbass, obnoxious examples of right-wingers being that way. Where people just go and get their programming for the day and to be programmed.
You're looking at one.
Yeah, fair enough. But it doesn't make sense to y'all because y'all don't want to actually understand it. I'll put it that way. Or you're just a dumb broad, and you'll always be that way.
Take the plank out of your eye.
Doesn't mean you're necessarily a bad person. Doesn't mean I don't wish you well. I do. But kind of a dumb broad. I'm saying that term over and over again because I'm trying to make old Blue Eyes happy. This part of the program brought to you by Pest Pro Services. And they're at Pest Pro. Ashley and that great team ready to help you out with any and all of your pest control needs, especially now as we're heading into the change of the seasons.
Spider season.
Spider season is coming. Spider season is here.
Some gnarly webs.
And there's other things besides spiders too. Like, do you you got a fireplace?
Mm-hmm.
You got a wood or like a wood pit or a fire pit out back, and like that wood pile, you probably need to treat that before you start lugging those logs inside.
Mm-hmm.
Just sitting them right next to the fireplace on the hearth.
Yeah, you drop them on the ground, you'll see all kinds of critters run off of them.
Yeah, they can help you out with that. And of course, you should just get on their regular monthly subscription plan. Very reasonable cost. Just build it up as part of your overhead to where you're jumping jelly tight, as the song says, when it comes to any and all your pest control needs. And coming up, I believe tomorrow. Yeah, tomorrow's October the 1st.
All day.
Tomorrow, October the 1st, they're at Main Street in Millbrook, 2181 Main Street. Pest Pro Services is celebrating 5 years of Pest Pro. And what a success story. And it's one thing I love about these folks. They're really good, truly skilled professionals at getting the job done when it comes to pest control. But they are such good local folks, giving back to the community. And so if you want to celebrate 5 years of Pest Pro Services, they've been a great success story coming out of the pandemic. Just stop by Main Street in Millbrook. That's 2181 Main Street there in Millbrook. And they'll be doing this celebration. Join the fun from 11 to 2 p.m. tomorrow. So I might have to remind you during the show as we kick off to get by Pest Pro Services. Y'all check them out today. You can always go to ppsriverregion.com to learn more. Search Pest Pro Services on the Book of Faces or just call them up direct, 265-9990. That's 265-9990. When you want to know, call a pro. Pest Pro Services. And be sure to tell Ashley and that great team that Joey, the fellow on the radio, sent you. Let's go to line 1. You're on there. Who's this?
Hey, Joey, how you doing? This is Mike, the mechanic.
Hey, Mike, I'm doing all right. How you doing?
I just got to say I love your show, every one of you guys, every show you have on there.
Well,
but I was just going to comment. You might want to check, is it Eddie this week?
No, Byron Cheese.
Byron. Oh, okay. His volume on the listener side is a little low. I don't know if it's mic volume or I know y'all been having audio difficulties, but I just thought I'd let you know.
Yeah,
I'm a low talker.
Yeah, he is a low talker. I'm going to have to turn you up all the way. I think you're right, though. I've noticed that, too, driving around.
I get in trouble all the time for not talking.
I've boomed him up a little bit there. I appreciate it, Mike.
I hear him really well on the phone, but it was just on the stereo, the radio in the car, and I was just going to run that by y'all.
Oh, thank you, sir.
All right, y'all keep on keeping on. Y'all doing a great job.
Appreciate it. 27, talk into the microphone.
My bad, man. Start yelling at you.
No, I did say that to Eddie the other day. Like he was over here, like he was right here. And I'm like, talk into the thing, the tip of the thing.
Well, try to have it positioned so that
don't put your mouth on it about a fist away. Come on. Anyway, 2729228. Did you see the founder of Wikipedia sit down with Tucker Carlson?
No.
Yeah. And he shared a very interesting thing about Wikipedia has a blacklist. They've blacklisted conservative media news sources. So let's listen in. So wait, if you're going to Wikipedia, like they say, we need trusted sources.
Yeah,
and your sources are just not true, especially when it's like on a conservative person. Like what they say about themselves just can't be true. We can't trust any of that. Of course, what all the lefties say about themselves is gospel. But let's listen into this. He lays out.
So you can't cite the New York Post, Fox News, or you on Wikipedia as a source. So I am making the modest proposal that this blacklist should be abolished. It was established in 2017. It's fairly new.
Right after Trump.
What's that?
The year Trump gets inaugurated.
That's right.
They decide that we're just not going to hear from certain news organizations just because objectively they're bad.
Wikipedia may not cite well, for example, the New York Post, and we should actually investigate whether that decision was made at about the time that the Hunter Biden laptop story was breaking.
Now, this is Larry Sanger that you're listening to. Larry was co-founder of Wikipedia. I don't think he runs the joint anymore.
Definitely not.
But he's the one who coined the name Wikipedia, and provided the initial drafts for many of its early guidelines, including neutral point of view and ignore all rules policies. Prior to Wikipedia, he was editor-in-chief at Newpedia, another online encyclopedia. He later worked on other encyclopedic things that advised the Ballotpedia site. For instance, Ballotpedia is a great site. Like, you get a lot of information on even lower level races pretty quickly. But let's just say at this point, he departed Wikipedia in 2002. So it hadn't been anywhere near his hands for over 20 years now.
I'm a little naive on Wikipedia. Like, I thought it was kind of source on the user end.
It is, but apparently what happens is everybody that controls the editorial process now, especially on like contentious pages, yeah, it is lefties.
You got to be a part of the crew.
Yeah.
You got to have that check mark.
Right, and this is what he's going through, that they've blacklisted any other sort of media source that ain't trusted.
Right.
Is this public, by the way? Can I go on the Wikipedia site and find out what's blacklisted?
Sure. Just type in perennial sources Wikipedia into any search engine, and the first result will be this page.
And it names them, the blacklist.
Oh, yeah, of course. Yeah, it's all color coded. Green.
Do you have the list? Do you mind if I do that really quick?
Go right ahead.
Okay, so I'm testing your thesis. So it's perennial. Source.
Yeah.
List. Wikipedia, right?
While you're doing that, I'll give you some fully approved sources: New York Times, Washington Post, CNN, The Nation, Mother Jones, GLAAD.
Come on!
These are all green lit, fully green lit. Okay, the blacklisted sources are Breitbart, Daily Caller, Epoch Times, Fox News, New York Post, The Federalist. So you can't use those as sources on Wikipedia.
Oh, wow. Well, they've got, of course. So is red, I'm looking at it now.
Yes. Red means it's blacklisted. You cannot cite it as a source of facts. Maybe as a source of opinion, but generally that works out.
Anti-Defamation League gets a green light.
Only for some. Yes, if you're actually reporting about the Arab
Israeli conflict.
Yes.
Okay.
You may not cite them.
Interesting.
So you can't find the Jewish perspective on the war so easily anymore on Wikipedia.
Media.
No, I'm looking at this list as they are.
Hierarchy, celebrity. This is interesting.
Yes. There's a serious academic encyclopedia of Christianity that is not allowed on Wikipedia. I was surprised to find
Counterpunch is not allowed. So
Good. You want to know one that is allowed? AVN, Adult Video News. And there's a whole explanation why it's allowed, why it's not allowed. AVN is considered generally reliable for the adult industry. Editors should take care to ensure that content is not a republished press release, which is marked as such in search.
Check out what I just sent to you.
Yeah, I saw that. I don't know. I think that's something different than what we're talking about here.
The 2017 blackout of Wikipedia?
Yeah, I think that's different than what he's getting at. Because I'm looking at the list he's getting at. Where it is a list of how they rate sources people might propose. That's the page. It's called, let me go to the very top of it. Wikipedia Reliable Sources, Perennial Sources. This is a list of repeatedly discussed sources collected and summarized for convenience. Consensus can change and context matters tremendously when determining how to use this list. Only sources that have been repeatedly raised for discussion are listed here. It is not a general or comprehensive list of all generally reliable or unreliable sources in the world. It's a summarization of discussions about the listed sources. So, yeah, I mean, and as you look through this list, it's what the editors there at Wikipedia have decided over the years as they've talked about this stuff.
One with a little stop sign in the hand.
Or the one I'm looking at it's more color coded. So green is a go, yellow, be cautious, red, nah, don't use them at all. And it gives reasons why. Huh. But here, let's keep going.
Naughty. They're naughty. Daily Caller not allowed.
Of course.
Oh,
you started
Daily
there.
Mail, not I did start it. I've got nothing to do with it now, but I did start it. That's interesting. Well, this is kind of incredible. Okay. I never hear about this. And we don't know who made this decision.
Mr. X is the name of his account.
Oh.
Now, it's edited, of course, as Wikipedia pages are, by a whole bunch of other people.
LifeSite News not allowed.
Right.
Of course, the pro-lifers.
Yeah.
That's interesting. I'm going to see if this... Okay. Well, why does no one talk about this? Oh, Sputnik, of course, not allowed. Talking about
Search me. I don't know why people aren't talking about it. It's obviously huge news. I think it's simply embarrassing for the left. And so the left aren't going to report about it. And the right has been reporting about it.
TV Guide allowed. The Uns Review not allowed. TV Guide, totally cool. Uns, VDare not allowed. This is so funny. This is amazing. Okay. All right.
Yeah, it's pretty incredible, especially sitting there with the co-founder of that very site. Pretty incredible, but also not that surprising. And how I view it is like the Wikipedia pages that don't really touch on politics too much. They're a good jumping off point. Like you can jump around with them. AI's changed that game a little bit. But especially political pages, like I just disregard Wikipedia for or against.
100%.
Like, it's too skewed, way too skewed. Like how quick they are to label somebody like, say, a racist.
I love how they're pretty open about, we need funding in the future. So if you could donate some money, you can help kind of determine the community standards.
Yeah, but I thought that was an interesting exchange between Tucker and one of the co-founders there of Wikipedia. Watch the whole thing if you like. 272-9228. Again, if you want to get in on the conversation. 334-272-9228. Again, this part of the program brought to you by Josh and Leslie Ryder there at Dylan Rings. You're running out of time. Today is the last day for their secret sapphire sale. So if you're looking for like 30% off on some beautiful sapphire featured jewelry, get by Dylan Rings, but you only got to today. The sale ends after they close up today. And of course, they are a full service jewelry shop. Maybe you're looking to get some repairs done, including watch repairs or battery replacement on a watch. They can do that. Maybe you're looking for a spa treatment, a piece of jewelry you wear all the time, and it looks like you've been wearing it for a while all the time. What if it could shine and shimmer like it's brand new again, so you keep on wearing it? They can do that there at Dylan Rings. Of course, Josh can do custom design work. He is second to none. The man is a true artist. Maybe you want to customize sapphire piece. You can do that. You can definitely do that. The point is they can do it all there at Dylan Rings. You get by there today, 119 Brown Springs Road, especially if you want that secret sapphire deal. Get by there right now. It's just off of Atlanta Highway, kind of like you're going to the back end entrance of AUM. And be sure to tell Josh and Leslie that Joe and Byron, those fellows on the radio, sent you.
He may not know whether he's coming or going, but whether you're going to work or coming home, Greg Budell is there. Mornings, 6 till 9, and afternoons, 3 till 6. Only on News Talk 93.1 FM, WACV.
Hi there, I'm Madeline Cannon with Alabama Home Mortgage. Getting pre-approved is the first step towards home ownership. People are often scared or nervous about taking that first step, but I'll tell you, it's nothing to be scared of. At Alabama Home Mortgage, we will take the first step and every step along the way with you. Call us at 567-4223. We will gather the information needed, to tell you exactly what you qualify for. After a call to Alabama Home Mortgage, you will know what price point to shop for, what down payment is required, if any, and what your monthly mortgage payment will look like. We take all the guessing out of it. Then, when you find the house you want to make your home, you are ready to make an offer. Along with your offer, you will submit your Alabama Home Mortgage Pre-Approval Letter. This shows sellers that you've already taken the steps necessary to ensure that you qualify to purchase their home. Wait no longer. It's time to take that first step together. Call me at 567-4223 or start the process online at myalabamahomemortgage.com.
That's Alabama Home Mortgage because, folks, there is a difference in mortgage companies. NMLS 1586-36-8, Equal Housing Lender.
For too long, Alabama's statewide news companies have shamed us for our conservative Christian values. Alabama deserves a news company that cherishes our culture, a company that isn't bought and paid for by the powers that be. 1819 News is that company. Run by Alabamians for Alabamians, 1819 News celebrates what is good and beautiful about our state while exposing those who work against our values in secret. Just go to 1819news.com to learn more. Subscribe to our newsletter. That's 1819news.com. This hour of News and Views is brought to you by our good friends at Cole Plumbing, 279-8919. Cole Plumbing is number one in the number two business. You don't have to dig a hole. They have proprietary pipelining technology. Ask them about their tankless water heaters. Remember, when you have trouble with your bowl, call on Cole.
Hi, I'm Joseph with Rapid Fire Home Buyers, and I buy houses cash. If you have a house and you want to sell it fast at a fair price, call me at 334-675-1000. I pay cash and can close as quickly as you like. I buy houses in any condition, any price range, and any location. I buy several houses per month and I want to buy more. I buy inherited houses, divorced houses, behind on payment houses. I even buy my tenant won't pay me rent houses. Do you own a house in rough shape and needs thousands of dollars in repairs? Great. I love buying those houses. I buy vacant houses, abandoned houses, condemned houses, and even foreclosure houses. If you have a house and you want to sell it fast, call me at 334-675-1000. That's 334-675-1000. Now play that catchy jingle.
Sell your house the easy way. Call Rapid Fire Home Buyers today.
The Rich Thomas Weather Network is brought to you by Earnest Financial.
If you're tired of losing your money in the stock market, call David Earnest, 334-279-7431. Earnest Financial, LLC.
Rich Thomas Weather.
Well, hi, everybody. On this last day of September, it's mainly a dry forecast. Expect a sun and cloud mix today with a high temperature up to about 87. Rain chances are not zero, but we'll say 20% or less, mainly in the afternoon and evening hours. Low tonight down to about 64. Tomorrow, Thursday and Friday, mostly sunny, dry. Upper 80s on Wednesday, 84 Thursday, 83 Friday, and the nights will be a little cooler. We'll be near 60, I think, by Friday morning, and dry through Saturday. From the Blue Water Weather Center, this is Rich Thomas.
Ready to borrow smarter this season? Apply online in minutes at yourasecu.com. Call 334-270-9011 or visit your local branch today.
ASD Credit Union. Your life, your goals, your ASD.
Terms and conditions apply. Federally insured by NCUA.
If it concerns your community, you'll hear about it on News Talk 93.1. News Talk 93.1 FM WACV.
Joey Clark.
Welcome back. I'm your host, Joey Clark. What's that?
Can we get Mike Johnson a riser?
Yeah, I was about to say. Welcome back to the show. Pamela here early. How you doing?
Hi.
Hey, Pam.
So you like this new, hey, we need to up our standards in the military stuff?
I love it.
Awesome.
And I can't say that I was always in shape when I was in the military because I had a kid and there's a lot of back and forth after having a kid and before, obviously. But yeah, our military, there's too many fat to fight.
Mm-hmm.
There just are. It's how, especially since COVID, you know, it really loosened up a lot and people loosened up a lot and started to get away with a lot more. And I think we need this shift in mentality and we need somebody
It's like having kids who have just become wayward and there's no boundaries. So
Amen.
they're going to push all of them.
Amen.
And we need a parent.
And also like shave, cut your hair, like all that stuff.
I mean, I'm not necessarily like whatever about the shaving, because there are militaries that are awesome in the world and they don't have to shave.
Right.
And in combat, not everybody's shaving.
Yeah, but the idea of like a standard.
Maintain dress and appearance. Yes, look like you're in the military. Look like you have some sense of pride in the uniform you're wearing.
Yeah, I think so, what he said. If you want to grow a beard, go join special forces.
There you go.
What about like ink tattoos and stuff? Because back in the day, you couldn't have tattoos outside of showing.
I don't know what the tattoo standards are. I know they loosen them over time, but
Yeah.
I don't know what they are anymore. But when I was in, you definitely could not have any above the collar or below your sleeves. You had to be able to hide them in like your dress, apparently.
It has to be covered up.
Yeah.
So nothing on the hands.
No.
Okay.
Job stoppers. Those are job stoppers.
Like where you get your initials and stuff.
Yeah.
You got some.
Where I have mine.
Yeah. So you couldn't have done that.
Oh no.
While you're in.
This is my second lifetime. Yeah. And I have one on my neck. So I'm just saying, as an outsider who's completely unqualified to be in the military now.
But I love that, like, you have that experience, and it's like if they told you can't have face tattoos, you're like, okay. And but the mentality out there is like, that's not fair. It's like, come on, man.
It's because the people are not the same now. It's like there's just a bunch of kids running around. They've never had boundaries. And like the point of going to basic training is to indoctrinate you into the standards of the military. That's just how it is. They break you down, get you in that warrior ethos mindset where you're all on the same team. You have a common goal. You're proud of what you're doing. And people can't handle that now. A lot of people cannot handle that. They don't want to be told what to do. They don't want to be told how to stand. They don't want to be told how to walk, how to eat, how to work out.
They should join the military.
More people. I am all for every fit 18-year-old joining the military in this country. Everyone, male and female.
Well, and also like, especially if you're like
just automatically at 18. Yep.
If you're one of these young people without
2
that
years.
direction, why would you want to join institutions? Like, you don't have to change at all. Like that, it kind of defeats the point of joining. Like, no, you probably want to join something, especially like a commitment in the military is to have it change you.
Yeah.
To rise to, again.
Well, there are benefits to joining the military. You can tough that out. There's benefits. I mean, and it seems like they're harder to get, or they kind of fall off as you get further away from being in active military. But I mean, I think everybody should have to do it. I really do. I think we would have a completely different country.
Well, I like seeing it. I like some of Trump's remarks as well. Though the other thing going on, running parallel to all this, with the overhaul of the military, apparently Hegseth's also going to overhaul the Inspector General process. There's a big old fight. It happened yesterday in the White House between the Democrats and the Trump administration and Republican leaders in Congress over this government shutdown that maybe is going to happen at midnight. Here is Vice President J.D. Vance as, on your right, Mike Johnson doesn't need a riser, Byron. He's a short little guy. Dude. And then John Thune, he's the majority leader there in the Senate. Let's listen in. This is, again, right after they met with the Democrats yesterday.
Negotiation has not taken place until today. But if you look at the original thing they did with this negotiation, it was a $1.5 trillion spending package, basically saying to the American people, we want to give massive amounts of money, hundreds of billions of dollars to illegal aliens for their health care, while Americans are struggling to pay their health care bills. That was their initial foray into this negotiation. We thought it was absurd. We told them it was absurd. And now they come in here saying that if you don't give us everything that we want, we're going to shut down the government. We think that's preposterous. We think it's totally unacceptable, and we think the American people are going to suffer because these guys won't do the right thing. Now, I want to make one final point here. You will hear a lot from Senate Democrats, from House Democrats about the fact that American healthcare policy is broken. Well, we know that American healthcare policy is broken. We've been trying to fix it for the 8 months that we've been in office. But every single thing that they accuse about being broken about American healthcare is policy the Democrats have supported for the past decade. So if they want to talk about how to fix American healthcare policy, let's do it. The Speaker would love to do it. The Senate Majority Leader would love to do it. Let's work on it together. But let's do it in the context of an open government that's providing essential services to the American people. That's all that we're proposing to do. And the fact that they refuse to do that shows how unreasonable their position is. I think we're headed to a shutdown because the Democrats won't do the right thing. I hope they change their mind, but we're going to see. I'll let the Speaker say a few words.
You know, as I was watching that clip last night, I had this thought, and I know there are a lot of people that are ride or die with Daddy Trump, and I don't mean to offend you at all. I really, that's not what I'm doing here. I'm not trying to provoke. I'm saying a possible thing. What is it? What's the most a vice president can serve as president? Like, he assumes the presidency. Say Trump retires, or God forbid something worse. JD Vance has to become president. So he could become president, let's say.
Yes.
In like 2 years. Like, say Trump steps down in the final year, or steps down, you know, a year and a half away from when, because, you know, he just slowed down. And he's like, and actually it would be a great example of the nation. I've slowed down and I've
Like we thought
accomplished
was
all.
going to happen with Biden.
Right.
With Kamala stepping up.
But do it the right way. JD Vance becomes president. He gets to be president at least for a year, and then he gets to campaign as an incumbent. He could end up being president for 8, 9, 10 years.
Yeah. He could.
And when you just see the way he presents himself, like how he lays down the gauntlet, want to have the debate? Let's have the debate. Like, he doesn't seem to shy away from really any issue. And he does look, he looks like the future to me. And he also seems to understand the era we're in with like how we communicate and the social media game he's got.
Yeah.
Like he's one of the most memed people at this point. And he just
very
leans into him.
well-rounded.
Yeah.
Extremely.
Like I think his only potential weakness is, like, classic with skilled people like Vance, is one of his strengths. I think what could bring down Vance is how smart he is.
Yeah.
And so if you get him to sound like a pretentious prick, which, you know, you needle somebody enough, you can get them angry. That's, I think, could be JD's sort of down, like the looking down.
Yeah.
But what's cool is because of his background, he still has this, I think, built-in humility to him.
Oh, yeah. I think so.
But that's the one thing with Vance. He sometimes is like, he's too smart for the room sometimes.
Let's wait and see what happens whenever the ring is up for grabs, what the fellow Republicans do and how unscathed he walks through a primary.
I know.
Now, did y'all see, though, that Hakeem Jeffries was very mad with Donald Trump?
Si, senor.
Because, you know, after Vance and Mike Johnson, Speaker Johnson, and Leader Thune and all these folks came out, did their thing, the Democrats came out.
Of course.
And Chuck Schumer and Hakeem Jeffries came out, did their thing.
And to do a little tap dance.
So Trump posted something where it's Schumer, not even Schumer's real words, saying, yeah, people are tired of us because we're full of crap, and we're so full of crap and losing so many voters that we need new voters. So we want to give all these illegals health care. So it's just a completely fake thing. But superimposed right next to the fake Schumer speech is Hakeem Jeffries in a sombrero and a big old mustache. Just while he's sitting there. And apparently Jeffries got like real upset with this today. Like he reacted to that. He saw the meme and he is not happy with Donald Trump's bigotry.
And Mr. President, the next time you have something to say about me,
Girl.
don't cop out through a racist and fake AI video. When I'm back in the Oval Office, say it to my face. Say it to my face.
I got a sense of Trump would.
I hate this feigned outrage.
I know. It's so cheesy.
If you want to say something to me like every other politician does on the internet, say it to my face.
Say it to my face.
What private school did this dude come from? Like, how many street fights has this guy ever been in?
Say it
He
to my
hasn't
face.
been.
By the way, I know you're, I know you're all woman, But you got bigger balls than that guy.
Oh, absolutely.
And I know a lot of women who
I could break his hand shaking it.
It's
What a limp-wristed noodle.
Say it to my face.
Oh my gosh. Guys like that just give me the heebie-jeebies.
Well, I'll say to your
Ugh.
face, I made you look like a Mexican. Because you want to give health care to all these illegal hooks who come from Mexico.
Oh my god.
That's a healthy mustache too, man.
Yeah, I'm impressed with
jealous.
that mustache. Actually, mine's starting to get long enough where you could do the
curl it.
twirl up, but I don't know if I want to do the Cheshire Cat like
Please
twirl
do
up.
that as a joke at least.
Maybe one of these days. Because it's getting.
Halloween.
Mhm.
Yes.
Yeah, exactly. I'll do a whole show with it.
There, yes.
You know, have Eddie try to grow facial hair too.
He can't. I need to microneedle him.
That's why I brought it up. Thank you for saying it.
Want to carry News Talk in your pocket? Download the News Talk 93.1 app from the App Store. Available on iPhone and Android. Never miss a moment. Download now.
This is Matt Woodham with Woodham Southside Firestone. As a businessman, you need to watch your advertising dollar. We've been using Blue Water Broadcasting for many years. Blue Water Broadcasting is the biggest bang for your buck. Blue Water Broadcasting and Woodham Southside Firestone, great combination.
Blue Water Broadcasting is the #1 most listened to radio group in the River region. Find out how to put this reach to work for your business. Call us to find out how we can help. Blue Water Broadcasting. Local folks helping local business.
Can you hear the squeals and smell the corn dogs and funnel cakes? The 11 best days of fall are almost here. The Alabama National Fair. News Talk 93.1 WACV has your fair tickets. Listen for your chance to win a family 4-pack of tickets to the Alabama National Fair, coming to the Garrett Coliseum October 3rd through the 13th. It's the 11 best days of fall. The Alabama National Fair from News Talk 93.1 FM WACV.
2 blockbuster game shows, 1 jackpot-sized night. Fox Wednesday, the floor is back with a Stars and Stripes showdown.
I'm Rob Lowe, and it's a state against state battle.
Then, 84 players for me. Ken Jeong and Aaron Andrews host the new $1 Million Game Show, where the games look simple.
Players must catch potatoes with a fork.
Until the pressure's on.
Know what it's like to unfreeze a pair of pants?
To win the million, they've got 99 to beat.
Wednesday on Fox 20.
This hour of News and Views is brought to you by our good friends at Cole Plumbing, 279-8919. Cole Plumbing is #1 in the #2 business. You don't have to dig a hole. They have proprietary pipelining technology. Ask them about their tankless water heaters. Remember, when you have trouble with your bowl, call on Cole.
News and talk without the static. The River Region's most trusted voice. News Talk 93.1 FM WACV.
Joey Clark.
Welcome back. Byron at the scoop. But of course, Pamela is still here.
Still here. You can't get rid of me.
No, this is earlier the better. Thank you for being here.
Yeah.
Especially when Eddie has to always just be closing and doing stuff.
Mhm.
And all. It's just.
I like when I have time to come in and set up. And it's not a rush.
Oh, yeah. It is nice. It's quite nice. Ray Bowles is busy today, out of town today. So just a quick reminder that this part of the program brought to you by Prattville Carpet. And they got anything you need for flooring options, resurfacing jobs. Could be you want a new ceramic tile on the kitchen countertops, backsplash, want to redo the bathroom, want to lay down new carpet in the bedroom, or maybe you're looking for traditional hardwood, luxury vinyl plank. And don't forget, they can now do the new epoxy floor process.
That's cool.
Looks so cool on a garage or a
Mhm.
back patio. They can really hook you up there, folks. It's as simple as just calling them up at 285-8117. They'll come out and do a free in-home measurement. You pick out what product you want to resurface, and they'll get the job done. Again, just that simple. That number, 285-8117, and be sure to tell them you heard Joey, that fellow on the radio, talking about him. So I'm trying to think, what did I learn today? I'm not sure what exactly I learned today. Other than the world is still as mad as it's ever been. But, you know, life is also pretty good. Let's go to line 1. You're on there. Who's this?
Joey, we learned that things are getting better.
Yes.
You know, that's it. They are going to get better, and a little bit at a time. Circumvent. Hey, brother, enjoying the show, and while I've been running around with my head cut off. But earlier, Brian mentioned about it, and then first part of '91. You know, I did Desert Storm, And yeah, we were still in BDUs. The desert camouflage that was just coming out. There was a great shortage. They were trying to ramp up the people in Selma and different places that were making the uniforms. And I got one complete. Well, I got a pretty much complete uniform. Right before I left, literally. So I have a nice picture of me. It's nice, clean uniform right there when we were leaving after about 6 months. But I'm just saying it was the standards. Yeah, when you have your basic standard when you get in. But when I was working with civil affairs, they support special forces. They train to a higher standard. You have your basic.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and then they do a few more push-ups, set up, and they run a little faster. There's a 10th Mountain. I remember hanging around. But yeah, there's.
Well, and if you're remote controlling something, you need a different skill set. If you're a pilot, you need a different skill set.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I just wanted to touch base with that. That's all I got.
Cool. Well, I appreciate it, Sam.
All right.
Bye, Sam.
So, y'all have any big plans today on the show on Happy Hour?
Master Thespian's going to be here. Usually
Nice.
it's kind of a free-for-all.
Nice.
It's just,
Okay.
yeah.
How's Greg holding up?
I hope his hiccups are gone. I didn't listen this morning and see if they were gone.
They didn't go away yesterday afternoon? Oh,
no.
My. Poor guy.
So we'll see. Hopefully they're gone.
Well,
Surely.
when he has stuff like that. But honestly, he's been complaining about his ailments work for 20 years now on the airwaves.
Yeah.
So I think that's not changing.
He drums up some sympathy.
No, I've learned it's a very effective tactic. The first time I saw him do it, he was having these splitting headaches. This must have been like 10, 12 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
And somebody showed up with headache medication.
Somebody brought a whole bag for him yesterday, and I don't know how many calls I got about this is my remedy. This works for me every time. Have him do this, a cup of this, a cup of that.
People love you, Greg.
Yes,
Myself
you're
included.
so cared for.
Anyway, y'all have fun today.
We shall.
Y'all stay tuned. Happy Hour's next.
Broadcasting from the Riverside Chevrolet Master Control Center, this is WACV Cusada, News Talk